Chapter 1247. The 9 dragons roared as a terrifying devouring power erupted, clashing fiercely with Dark Thunder Supreme's embryonic domain. The devouring power of the 9 dragons enveloped an area, and it also had a trace of the power of a domain. The two engaged in a fierce battle from the ground to the sky, and then from the sky to the ground. Terrifying energy swept in all directions, spreading freely, and could cut open space and destroy the earth. In the distance, the one-eyed man's face was pale, and his body was trembling. Dark Thunder Supreme can definitely kill this kid. Dark Thunder Supreme still has his bloodline. Once he uses it, this kid will die for sure. The one-eyed man prayed in his heart, but he didn't leave. He wanted to see Dark Thunder Supreme kill Lu Ming before he could feel at ease. Lu Ming and Dark Thunder Supreme fought over 100 moves, but there was still no clear winner. Your bloodline power is almost exhausted, but I haven't used my bloodline yet. Let's see how you die. Dark Thunder Supreme's cold voice sounded. Is that so? Lu Ming's indifferent voice sounded. At this moment, the 9 dragons' bloodline's light dimmed, and the bloodline power of the 9 dragons' bloodline was about to be exhausted. But before Paragon Dark Thunder could celebrate, a stone steel shot out from the 9 dragons' bloodline. The stone steel rapidly expanded, and a single character on it began to shine with boundless light. It was like an ancient divine mountain that suppressed everything as it smashed down on Paragon Dark Thunder. This is impossible? Dark Thunder Supreme roared in disbelief. Lu Ming actually had 2 types of divine bloodlines, and their levels were so high. Although the suppressing steel bloodline was only at the 8th level of the divine grade, the aura it emitted was terrifying to the extreme, shocking Dark Thunder Supreme. Boom! The suppressing steel bloodline and Dark Thunder Supreme clashed, and the terrifying suppressive power made Dark Thunder Supreme stagger back. Dark Thunder Supreme was actually at a disadvantage. This made the one-eyed man, who was watching the battle from afar, almost bite his own tongue, and cold sweat broke out all over his body. A martial artist at the 7th level of the Spirit God realm could actually suppress a Supreme with his own strength. This was simply like a fantasy story, and he had never heard of it before. He simply thought that he was dreaming. Boom! The hell-suppressing steel's bloodline trembled, and its light grew even brighter. The words on the steel seemed to contain some sort of magical power, a mysterious power that Lu Ming had stimulated. It emitted an aura that could suppress 10,000 worlds, causing Sovereign Dark Lightning's heart to tremble. At this moment, he unleashed his bloodline without any hesitation. His bloodline was a hammer with black lightning and 6 golden chakras. It was a level 6 divine bloodline. Dark Lightning Sovereign turned into a beam of light and rushed into the hammer. The hammer rapidly expanded until it was as large as the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline. Black lightning revolved around it as it blasted towards the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline. A muffled sound rang out. It was as if the stars had moved, and the heavens and the earth were shaking. The prison's suppressing steel trembled and was sent flying. Dark Thunder Sovereign's battle prowess had indeed increased by a large margin after using bloodline fusion. Die! The huge thunder hammer, like the hammer of the ancient thunder god, smashed towards Lu Ming with thousands of thunderbolts. Go! With a thought from Lu Ming, a thunder cauldron floating in the air trembled slightly. Thousands of thunderbolts erupted, turning into a mountain and smashing towards the huge hammer. Another muffled sound rang out. This time, it was a tie. The thunder cauldron and the huge hammer both retreated, but Dark Thunder Sovereign's angry roar sounded from the thunder hammer. What the hell is this? In the collision just now, the thunder cauldron had actually absorbed some of the black lightning on the huge hammer. This lightning was the essence of Dark Thunder Sovereign's bloodline. If it was absorbed, it would have a great impact on his future cultivation. In fact, his chances of breaking through to the Emperor realm in the future would be even smaller. Boom! Boom! The suppressing Hell Steel bloodline and the Thunder Cauldron blasted towards Dark Thunder Sovereign together. Another 2 explosions rang out. This time, the huge hammer that Dark Thunder Sovereign had transformed into was sent flying. Some of the lightning on it was absorbed by the Thunder Cauldron. Buzz! After absorbing Dark Thunder Sovereign's lightning, the Thunder Cauldron seemed to be very excited. It shook slightly, and Lu Ming could feel the excitement of the thunder cauldron. Then let's continue. Lu Ming controlled the thunder cauldron and continued to bombard the huge hammer. This time, a large amount of black lightning was directly absorbed by the thunder cauldron. Dark Thunder Sovereign let out an angry roar. In the end, he couldn't maintain his bloodline form and directly dissipated. Kid, remember this. Dark Thunder Sovereign transformed into a lightning and actually ran away. He turned into a bolt of lightning and pierced through the void, disappearing in the blink of an eye. A supreme being had been beaten away by Lu Ming, by a young man in the 7th level of the spirit god realm. If this news were to spread, no one would believe it. Supreme beings were synonymous with invincibility when there weren't any emperors. They were called supreme beings. They had comprehended the embryonic form of a domain and could be called half-step emperors. They were much stronger than ordinary perfect spirit gods. But now, he had been beaten away by a young man in the 7th level of the spirit god realm. He could only run for his life. No one would believe it if they hadn't seen it with their own eyes. Even if they saw it with their own eyes, it still felt like a dream. At this moment, the one-eyed burly man felt like he was dreaming. He widened his eyes and only reacted after a while. He immediately turned around and ran in horror. He's running pretty fast. Lu Ming looked in the direction Dark Thunder Sovereign had fled and thought it was a pity. He didn't chase after him. A supreme being's speed was too fast. Moreover, he could tear through space. Even if he chased after him, he wouldn't be able to catch up. Chirp, chirp, on his shoulder, the round bubble chirped and waved its little claws. The bubble on its nose was one big and one small as it breathed. You mean if you helped, he wouldn't have been able to escape? Lu Ming guessed what the bubble meant. Chirp, chirp, the bubble nodded repeatedly and waved its claws. All right, then I'll let you help next time. Lu Ming touched the bubble's round body. Then, he looked in the direction the one-eyed burly man left and sneered, "How dare you scheme against me? You're courting death." With a step, Lu Ming turned into a stream of light and chased after the one-eyed burly man. Not long after, a scream rang out. The one-eyed burly man was killed by Lu Ming. After killing the one-eyed burly man, Lu Ming returned to the vicinity of the small hill. He looked at the Thunder Phoenix tree inside and didn't enter immediately. The lightning around the Thunder Phoenix tree was too strong and terrifying. It was full of destructive power. Moreover, Dark Thunder Sovereign was guarding nearby but didn't enter to take away the Thunder Phoenix tree. This meant that the Thunder Phoenix tree must be very terrifying. Let's give it a try first. After pondering for a while, Lu Ming decided to give it a try. Since he had come here and encountered the Thunder Phoenix tree, there was no reason to retreat. If he didn't give it a try, he wouldn't be satisfied. Lu Ming controlled the thunder cauldron to float above his head and stepped into the area within 100 miles of the small hill. Rumble! As soon as he stepped into that area, the heavens and earth roared. Endless thunder and lightning crazily struck at Lu Ming. That kind of power was countless times more terrifying than Lu Ming's heavenly thunder tribulation. Buzz! Chapter 1248. This lightning cauldron is really amazing. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He had obtained this lightning cauldron from the 100 Gods Slope. The 100 Gods Slope was formed after many powerful corpses fell from the sky. The lightning cauldron might be a treasure of a supreme existence. Moreover, the 100 Gods Slope had been explored for so many years and was still preserved. It even went through its own tribulation back then. It was definitely extraordinary. Lu Ming felt that it was unfathomable. In the past, he couldn't control it at all. He could only barely control it after his lightning intent broke through to the peak of level 4. However, Lu Ming felt that he couldn't unleash much of the lightning cauldron's power. This lightning cauldron seemed to contain boundless power. This involuntarily reminded Lu Ming of a round bead that he had encountered at the 100 Gods Slope in the past. It had the power of the wind. It had been at the 100 Gods Slope for so many years and had not been taken away by anyone. It must be extraordinary. Lu Ming thought to himself that if he had the chance, he would definitely go to the 100 Gods Slope to explore it. With the help of the lightning cauldron, Lu Ming was relieved and took big strides forward. Rumble! The closer he got to the lightning phoenix tree, the more terrifying and powerful the lightning force became. When he was 10 miles away from the lightning phoenix tree, the lightning force had reached a terrifying level. The lightning force here is so powerful that even a supreme being would be in danger. They would be severely injured or even killed. Lu Ming was shocked. It was no wonder that Dark Thunder Supremacy was guarding nearby but didn't come in to collect the lightning phoenix tree. It was because Dark Thunder Supremacy couldn't get close to the lightning phoenix tree at all. If he came in, he might die here. However, Lu Ming had the lightning cauldron and it wasn't a problem at all. The lightning cauldron absorbed all the lightning force in the world. Lu Ming took big strides forward and got closer to the lightning phoenix tree. 10 miles, 9 miles, 8 miles. Soon, Lu Ming was only 1 mile away from the lightning phoenix tree. At this moment, a phoenix cry was heard. A phoenix that was completely condensed from lightning spread its wings and flew towards Lu Ming. It had a ferocious look in its eyes. It was lifelike like a real phoenix. With a cry, the lightning phoenix pounced towards the lightning cauldron. Buzz! The lightning cauldron shuddered as a vast lightning suppression spread out from it. This pressure enveloped the thunder and lightning phoenix. The thunder and lightning phoenix let out a wail. It actually let out an incomparably terrified cry and quickly retreated. Suppress! Lu Ming whispered. The lightning cauldron flew forward, suppressing the thunder and lightning phoenix. The phoenix let out a mournful cry and was incomparably terrified. It was completely powerless to resist and was suppressed by the lightning cauldron. In the end, it turned into numerous bolts of lightning and was absorbed by the lightning cauldron. Following that, the lightning cauldron floated above the thunder phoenix tree. The lightning cauldron continued to emit lightning Tao pressure. It was as if a superior was commanding a subordinate. During this process, a strange scene occurred. The thunder phoenix tree shone and the boundless lightning in the surroundings actually weakened. Slowly, this area returned to normal. There was no more powerful lightning energy lingering in the air. Lu Ming revealed a joyful expression. He strode forward and grabbed the thunder phoenix tree. Under the suppression of the lightning cauldron, the lightning energy of the thunder phoenix tree was completely restrained. It did not harm Lu Ming at all. Lu Ming pulled up the thunder phoenix tree and carefully sensed it. He could still feel the incomparably dense lightning energy of the thunder phoenix tree. If Lu Ming used the thunder phoenix tree to cultivate the thunder god strike, the effect would definitely be outstanding. Let's find a place to cultivate. Lu Ming smiled and dug out the thunder phoenix tree. He then stepped into the air and left this place. A few hours later, Lu Ming found a mountain peak with dense lightning energy. He opened up a cave in the mountain peak. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the cave. With a thought, the thunder phoenix tree appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The thunder phoenix tree emitted wisps of lightning that enveloped Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body was bathed in the dense lightning energy. He closed his eyes and combined the dense lightning energy to cultivate the thunder god strike. With the help of the thunder phoenix tree, Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder god's strike improved by leaps and bounds. In just 2 days, the thunder god's strike broke through and reached the second level. 9 days later, the thunder god's strike broke through again and reached the third level. There were still a few days before the start of the second round. Lu Ming planned to cultivate until the last day before returning to the ancient city of God. Not far away from Lu Ming's cultivation place, 5 to 6 figures appeared. Lu Ming even knew one of them. It was Lei Niu, who had one of his arms cut off by Lu Ming. The others were all Lei Niu's subordinates. Young Master Niu, the lightning energy here is still all right. You can cultivate here. An old man said. This won't do. The power of thunder and lightning here still hasn't reached my expectations. I have to find a place where the power of thunder and lightning is extremely dense. Over the past few days, I've almost recovered my Yuan Qi, but I haven't fully recovered. I have to find a place where the power of thunder and lightning is extremely dense to fully recover. Lei Niu said. At the mention of this, he thought of Lu Ming and his eyes flashed with anger. He couldn't help but want to tear Lu Ming into pieces. If it weren't for Lu Ming, he wouldn't have fallen into such a situation. Others were seizing the time to break through, but he was seizing the time to recover. In this way, he had unknowingly pulled away from others. It's all because of that guy, Lu Ming. I don't know where that guy has been hiding all this time. I must find a chance to take revenge. Lei Niu gritted his teeth. Suddenly, his nose twitched a few times and 2 horns appeared on his forehead, flashing with lightning energy. There's a powerful lightning energy ahead. Lei Niu's eyes lit up. He was a beast and was born with the ability to control lightning. He was very sensitive to lightning energy, far surpassing ordinary people. Let's go, it's ahead. Lei Niu took the lead and flew in a direction. The direction they flew was the mountain where Lu Ming was cultivating in seclusion. Not long after, Lei Niu arrived at the mountain where Lu Ming was cultivating in seclusion. Young Master Niu, there seems to be someone cultivating in seclusion in this mountain. But judging from his aura, his cultivation isn't very strong. An old man beside him said, "Treasure, a lightning treasure." At this moment, the 2 horns on Lei Niu's forehead were flashing with lightning. His eyes were shining. He sensed that there was an extremely precious lightning treasure in this mountain. It was a lightning treasure that made him very tempted. Blast this mountain open. I want the treasure inside. Lei Niu's eyes flashed with a blazing light. Yes. 2 burly men bowed and accepted the order. Then, a powerful aura erupted from their bodies. It was actually the aura of a perfected spirit god. 2 saber lights as big as mountains broke through the sky and slashed towards the mountain. The mountain was split open like tofu. Lu Ming was in the midst of comprehending the thunder god's strike. All of a sudden, his heart stirred and he sensed danger approaching. He opened his eyes abruptly and ended his cultivation. "You're courting death!" Lu Ming roared. His body was wrapped in endless lightning as he rushed out of the rubble. The rubble, regardless of size, was struck by the lightning on Lu Ming's body and turned into dust. Kill! Chapter 1249. Bang! Bang! Under the attack of the lightning phoenix, the 2 men at the perfection stage of the spirit god stage could only let out a miserable cry before their bodies were torn into pieces. Terrifying, terrifying power. This was the terrifying power of Intent Realm martial skills. It could bring out the deepest level of Intent Realm and unleash shocking power. Moreover, Lu Ming had already cultivated the 3rd level of Thunder God Strike, which was more profound and powerful than the Intent Realm martial skills that Lei Niu and Bing Long had cultivated. Lei Niu and the others were stunned when they saw that Su Mo had killed 2 great perfection spiritual gods in one move. "Lu Ming, it's you." After being stunned for a moment, the Thunder Bull saw Lu Ming's appearance clearly and roared furiously. "It's you? But don't you want your other arm?" Lu Ming said coldly when he saw Lei Niu. No one would be in a good mood if they were interrupted during their cultivation. Lu Ming was in a bad mood now. "Ah, Lu Ming, I've been looking for you for a few days. I didn't expect you to be hiding here. Today is the day you die." Lei Niu laughed. When he saw the lightning phoenix tree in Lu Ming's hand, his eyes were burning with passion. "Lightning phoenix tree, you actually got the lightning phoenix tree. Ah, the heavens are on my side. Kill him." Lei Niu roared. Boom. There were 4 people beside him who were emitting shocking auras. 3 of them were at the perfection stage of the spirit god realm. The other old man with a horn between his eyebrows had the most terrifying aura. He was a supreme being expert. It turned out that there were supreme being experts following him. No wonder Lei Niu was still calm when he saw Lu Ming killing 2 great perfection spiritual gods so easily. He looked as if he was sure that he could defeat Lu Ming. Lei Niu was full of confidence with a supreme being around. "Kill!" At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly shouted. His figure swayed and he charged toward the Thunder Bull at lightning speed. Since they were already enemies, Lu Ming decided to strike first. In the process of running, Lu Ming's 9 dragon energies all erupted. At the same time, the 3rd bloodline appeared. Lu Ming borrowed a trace of the 3rd bloodline's power. As Lu Ming's cultivation improved, his ability to borrow the power of the 3rd bloodline had also improved. His resistance to the murderous intent had also improved. Sizzle, Lu Ming punched out and a phoenix condensed from lightning pounced towards the Thunderbolt. The boundless killing intent and terrifying power caused the Thunderbolt's eyes to widen in shock. 9 Thunder Sword. He exerted all his strength and slashed out with his sword. Bang! The 9 Thunder Sword was instantly destroyed. The Thunderbolt let out a muffled groan and retreated rapidly with a pale face. Kill! Lu Ming roared and continued to attack the Thunderbolt. Junior, how dare you? You're courting death. For angry roars could be heard. The other 4 people charged toward Lu Ming, especially the old man with the horn on his forehead. His aura was shocking and his strength was terrifying. His speed was even faster. In a flash, he appeared in front of Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming and the old man exchanged blows and Lu Ming was pushed back 100 meters. This person's strength was even stronger than Dark Lightning Supreme's. Kill him! The other 3 Great Perfection spiritual gods shouted when they saw Lu Ming being pushed back. They wanted to seize the opportunity to kill Lu Ming. You're courting death. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he transformed into 9 dragons. The devouring power enveloped the 3 of them and the 9 dragon claws stepped out. No, the terrifying power made the 3 of them scream in horror. But in the next moment, the 3 of them were pierced by the dragon claws and their hearts were crushed. Devour! The 9 dragons opened their mouths and devoured the blood essence and energy of the 3 Great Perfection spiritual gods. The 3 of them turned into 3 dried corpses. Kill, Thunder Rhino Supreme, kill him for me. The Thunder Bull roared hysterically. The old man with the horn, Thunder Rhino Supreme, had a saber flickering with lightning in his hand. He split the void and slashed at Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! The 9 dragon claws stepped out continuously. Some of the claws were using the health-suppressing art while the other claws were filled with lightning. They were actually using the Thunder God Strike. The 2 terrifying ultimate skills were executed at the same time, and their power was overwhelming. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming and Thunder Rhino Supreme had exchanged dozens of blows. Boom! After the last blow, Lu Ming and Thunder Rhino Supreme were pushed back at the same time. Thunder Rhino Supreme's face was gloomy. He was a great perfection, but he couldn't take down Lu Ming. He felt humiliated. The Thunderbolt was also shocked. Lu Ming's combat strength was stronger than when he fought with him. He could actually fight against a great perfection spiritual god. At this moment, a bolt of lightning flashed in the distance. A figure appeared behind Lu Ming. Dark Thunder Supreme, it was actually Dark Thunder Supreme. This made the Thunderbolt and Thunder Rhino Supreme's faces change slightly. Why did a great perfection spiritual god suddenly appear at this time? The 2 of you, this kid has a grudge with me. Why don't we work together to kill him? Dark Thunder Supreme said. This made the Thunderbolt and Thunder Rhino Supreme's eyes light up. This great perfection spiritual god who suddenly appeared was Lu Ming's enemy. The Thunderbolt was overjoyed. Ah, good, senior, let's work together to kill him. The Thunderbolt laughed and then ordered the Thunder Rhino Supreme to work together with Dark Thunder Supreme. The 2 of you, this kid has 2 bloodlines, both of which are very terrifying. We better work together and use all our strength to kill him as soon as possible. Dark Thunder Supreme said. Good, then let's go all out. Kid. Thunder Rhino Supremacy let out a loud roar, and his body rapidly enlarged, turning into a mountain-like rhinoceros with lightning all over his body. As for Dark Thunder Supreme, he used bloodline fusion and turned into a giant hammer. You escaped, but you still want to die? Then I'll fulfill your wish. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. With a thought, the lightning cauldron appeared and bombarded the giant hammer. At the same time, he also attacked the giant hammer that Dark Thunder Supreme had turned into. However, the Thunder Rhino Supreme roared and stepped on the void, attacking Lu Ming. The Thunder Rhino Supreme had 70% of a divine beast's bloodline. In terms of strength, he was stronger than the Dark Thunder Supreme. A bolt of lightning shot out from his horn and attacked Lu Ming. Dandan! Lu Ming called out and released Dandan from the mountain river diagram, saying, I'll leave this rhinoceros to you. Don't worry, watch me kill him. Dandan's face was full of confidence. Since swallowing the 1,000-spirit crystal in the ruins of God, Dandan had been digesting it. Every day, its strength was improving and recovering. Now, according to him, it had no problem dealing with a great perfection spiritual god. Get lost. The Thunder Rhino Supreme shouted. Dandan retracted its 4 limbs into the turtle shell. The turtle shell rolled and collided with the lightning beam, blocking it. A wild rhinoceros dares to be presumptuous in front of me? Watch me peel off your skin. Chapter 1250. Dandan transformed into an incomparably huge tortoise, as tall as the sky. With a slap, it blotted out the sky and covered the sun. Thunder Rhino Supreme was shocked. The lightning all over his body became even stronger. A huge single-horned rhinoceros formed by lightning gathered in the air and rushed toward Dandan. Bang! Dandan's slap collided with the huge rhinoceros. With a loud bang, the Thunder Rhinoceros was defeated. Watch my world kill! Dandan shouted. Mysterious patterns appeared on his tortoise shell. These patterns made people dizzy with a glance. It was as if they were peerless patterns that had existed since the beginning of the world. Swish! These patterns gathered and formed a beam of light that shot toward Thunder Rhino Supreme. At the same time, Dandan unfolded his figure. His huge body stepped on the air and charged toward Thunder Rhino Supreme. Thunder Rhino Supreme roared and erupted with all his strength to fight Dandan. However, Dandan was clearly stronger, suppressing Thunder Rhino Prime at a disadvantage. Clang! On the other side, Lu Ming controlled the Thunder Cauldron and collided with the giant hammer formed by Dark Thunder Supreme. Just like last time, the lightning on the giant hammer was absorbed by the Thunder Cauldron. Damn it! Dark Thunder Supreme roared in his heart, feeling that the situation was not good. Last time, he fought with Lu Ming. In terms of pure strength, he was stronger than Lu Ming. It was just that he was restrained by Lu Ming's Thunder Cauldron, so he fled in defeat. That was why he joined forces with Thunder Rhino Supreme. Originally, he thought that joining forces with Thunder Rhino Supreme was enough to kill Lu Ming. However, he did not expect that Lu Ming had a terrifying tortoise with him. A tortoise could actually suppress Thunder Rhino Supreme and gain the upper hand. At the same time, he was shocked, and at the same time, he began to think of retreating. Divine Gate 9 Seals. At this moment, Lu Ming transformed back into his human form. While controlling the Thunder Cauldron to attack Dark Thunder Supreme, he formed seals with both hands. Suddenly, 3 sealed doors appeared around Sovereign Dark Thunder. The sealed gate emitted a dazzling light, and the power of the seal bloomed, suppressing Dark Lightning Sovereign. Dark Thunder Sovereign's expression changed slightly. Beneath the sealing gate, he felt that not only his body, but even his true essence and soul were about to be sealed. Open! Dark Thunder Sovereign bellowed. His Zhen Yuan erupted, crazily attacking the sealed door. Immediately, the 3 sealed doors began to tremble violently, as if they had received a terrifying impact. Bubble! At this moment, Lu Ming called out. Chirp, chirp! Bubble chirped and stood on Lu Ming's shoulder, full of energy. Whoosh! At the next moment, Bubble rushed out and disappeared in a flash. It was impossible for the naked eye to capture Bubble's figure because it was traveling through space. Suddenly, a huge transparent bubble appeared, enveloping Dark Lightning Sovereign within. At this moment, the giant hammer that Sovereign Dark Thunder had transformed into froze in midair. Time and space? Impossible? A horrified voice came from the giant hammer. Kill! Lu Ming bellowed. He transformed into the suppressing prison monument bloodline and raised his combat strength to the extreme, suppressing the giant hammer. At the same time, the lightning cauldron also blasted towards the giant hammer. Clang! Boom! 2 loud booms rang out as the hammers exploded, revealing a horrified Dark Lightning Supremacy who was coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming's voice was cold as he continued to attack Dark Lightning Sovereign. At this moment, Dark Lightning Sovereign was desperately trying to break out of the transparent bubble formed by Bubble, wanting to escape. But at this moment, the space trembled, and 4 transparent bubbles appeared at the same time, enveloping Dark Lightning Sovereign from all directions. Dark Lightning Sovereign's body became still again. No, Dark Lightning Sovereign roared in horror. Don't. The lightning cauldron hit his forehead, forcing Dark Lightning Sovereign to swallow back his words. His head was bleeding, and a part of it caved in, almost bursting open. Then, Lu Ming arrived again. At this moment, Lu Ming transformed into his human form, holding the blood sword formed by the third bloodline, and slashed at Dark Lightning Sovereign's forehead. Squeak, an ear-piercing sound rang out. In the end, Dark Lightning Sovereign was split in half by Lu Ming's sword. Even the spirit deity couldn't escape. Dark Lightning Sovereign was dead. A supreme expert was killed in one fell swoop under the cooperation of Lu Ming and Bubble. Once upon a time, Supremes were so high and mighty that Lu Ming was like an ant in front of them. But today, Lu Ming had personally killed a supreme martial artist. Bubble flew back to Lu Ming's shoulder, chirping proudly. Lu Ming smiled and touched the little guy. Fortunately, Bubble attacked together. Otherwise, with Lu Ming's current cultivation and combat strength, he wouldn't be able to kill a supreme. If a supreme wanted to escape, it was too difficult to kill. But Bubble imprisoned Dark Lightning Sovereign. Not to mention escaping, he couldn't even resist and was killed by Lu Ming in one fell swoop. As expected of one of the top 10 war beasts, the space-time spirit mouse looks so mysterious and powerful. If it grows up and reaches its peak, I wonder how terrifying it will be. Lu Ming sighed in his heart and couldn't help but look forward to it. Lu Ming cooperated with Bubble to kill Dark Lightning Sovereign. It didn't take much time at all, less than a minute. This scene fell into the eyes of Thunder Bull and Thunder Rhino, but they were shocked. Impossible! Thunder Bull uttered a roar, his eyes filled with disbelief. He stood not far away. Initially, he wanted to see Lu Ming being killed with his own eyes. However, he did not manage to see that. Instead, he saw Lu Ming killing a supreme martial artist. He was almost scared to death. Run! Without hesitation, Thunder Bull turned around and fled. Did I say you could leave? Lu Ming's calm voice could be heard. With a flicker, Lu Ming's figure appeared beside Thunder Bull. Lu Ming, what are you trying to do? I'm the young master of the Western Sacred Palace. My father is an undefeatable fourth-layer martial dominator realm expert. If you kill me, you'll suffer a horrible fate. Thunder Bull yelled, threatening Lu Ming. Bubble! Lu Ming softly called out. Bubble sprang forward, followed by a transparent bubble. The transparent bubble appeared out of nowhere as if it had appeared out of nowhere. Even Dark Lightning Sovereign failed to dodge it, let alone Thunder Bull. His figure was encapsulated by the bubble, unable to move at all. The transparent bubble contained the will of time and space, capable of sealing everything. No, no! Thunder Bull yelled in his heart. He almost burst into tears. Lu Ming remained unmoved. With a slash, Thunder Bull's head flew high into the sky. His spirit was destroyed too. Young master! Thunder Rhino let out a roar filled with anger, but more importantly, astonishment. Previously, he had tried to save Qin Nan, but Dandan had kept him busy, preventing him from leaving. I have to leave this place. This man is a monster. Thunder Rhino let out a roar in his heart as he tried to escape. Chapter 1251. Seeing that Dandan had completely suppressed Thunder Rhino Supreme, Lu Ming didn't panic. He first put away Dark Thunder Supreme's blood essence and then stepped toward Thunder Rhino Supreme. Seeing Lu Ming coming, Thunder Rhino Supreme was terrified. He let out a roar and desperately attacked, but the next moment, a transparent bubble appeared, enveloping Thunder Rhino Supreme and imprisoning him. Don't kill me, spare me, spare me. Seeing this, Thunder Rhino Supreme was afraid and began to beg for mercy. To be honest, he was still young. From birth until now, he had only lived for 1,000 years. Supremes had 5,000 years of life. He still had a long time, and he didn't want to die. Ridiculous, you wanted to kill me just now, and now you want me to let you go? Lu Ming sneered, his killing intent cold. Bang! Dandan slapped Thunder Rhino Supreme's head, making him dizzy. No, spare me, I can do anything you want. I can join you and be your mount. Thunder Rhino Supreme shouted. At this time, He couldn't care about anything else. He only wanted to save his life. Dandan, wait a minute. Lu Ming's eyes moved. It wasn't a bad idea to take Thunder Rhino Supreme as a mount. After killing Thunder Rhino Supreme, at most, he could take away all his materials and his 9 drops of blood essence, which were useful to Lu Ming. But if he took him as a mount, a living Supreme Being could help Lu Ming do a lot of things. Dandan, do you have a way to control him? Lu Ming asked Dandan. Don't worry, as long as he doesn't resist, I have 100 ways to control him and make him obedient. He won't dare to be disloyal. Dandan said. Thunder Rhino, don't resist. Lu Ming said. Paragon Lightning Rhino had no choice but to do as he was told. He didn't resist, and allowed Dandan to engrave a spell formation into his spirit divinity. If he had any thoughts of betrayal, Dandan could easily kill him. After engraving the matrix, Dandan once again transformed into the appearance of Little Tortoise, while Thunder Rhino Supreme transformed into his human form. He sincerely saluted Lu Ming. His heart was full of helplessness. But in order to save his life, he had no other choice. Lei Shi, I still need to cultivate for a few more days. You stay in the mountain river diagram. After saying that, the mountain river diagram appeared. Grotto Heaven Treasure. Thunder Rhino Supremacy was shocked when he saw this. In his eyes, Lu Ming was simply unfathomable. Beside him was a little tortoise and a plump spirit mouse. They were all terrifyingly strong. Lu Ming's combat strength was even more astonishing. The mountain river diagram glowed and took the Thunder Rhino into the mountain river diagram. Then, the 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and began to devour Dark Thunder Supremacy's energy and True Yuan. Dark Thunder Supremacy mainly cultivated the Thunder Intent. However, Lu Ming's Thunder Intent had already reached the perfected stage of the Spirit God realm. It was useless to devour and refine it. Lu Ming devoured the True Yuan energy. Then he found a place and began to refine it. How strong was the Supremacy's True Yuan? The energy essence contained in the blood was also incomparably strong. Lu Ming began to refine it and convert it into True Yuan to improve his cultivation. As he refined it, Lu Ming's cultivation also began to improve. The early 7th level of the Spirit God realm. Not long after, it rose to the late 7th level of the Spirit God realm, and then the peak 7th level of the Spirit God realm. With Lu Ming's current intent, as long as he had enough energy, Lu Ming could rise to the peak 9th level of the Spirit God realm. The True Yuan in his body circulated and became more and more majestic. In the blink of an eye, a few more days passed. Lu Ming's cultivation finally made another breakthrough and reached the early 8th level of the Spirit God realm. The True Yuan and blood energy of a supremacy had raised Lu Ming's cultivation by an entire level, reaching the 8th level of the Spirit God realm. The True Yuan of the 8th level of the Spirit God realm is several times stronger than the 7th level of the Spirit God realm. Feeling the vast True Yuan in his body, Lu Ming's eyes flashed with confidence. With the breakthrough in his cultivation, his combat strength had undoubtedly increased by a large margin. Now, if he used his full strength to kill a genius like the Thunderbolt, a single move would be enough. Now, he was confident that even if he didn't rely on the lightning cauldron or the bubble, he could still fight a supremacy like Dark Thunder Supremacy with his own combat strength. Of course, there were differences in strength between supremacies. Some supremacies who had awakened the bloodline of the 7th, 8th, or even 9th level of the God realm were naturally stronger. Half a month is almost up. It's time to go back. Lu Ming pondered, then took a step forward and turned into a ray of light, heading towards the ancient city of gods. Soon, Lu Ming returned to the ancient city of gods. Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming walked side by side. There seems to be more people in the ancient city of gods. Xian Yanqing said. Lu Ming nodded. There were people coming and going in the ancient city of gods. It felt like the density of people was greater than before. After asking around, he found out that the celestial god sect's disciple selection was about to reach the end. A large number of experts from all over the ancient city of gods had rushed over to watch. Lu Ming nodded. It wasn't difficult to understand. Since ancient times, it was rare for Yuanlu sect to select disciples in the ancient city of gods. It was normal for so many people to be attracted. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing walked around casually. They had been in seclusion for days, so it was a good time to relax. After walking around for a while, the two of them walked into a luxurious restaurant, intending to eat something. The restaurant's business was very good. Many seats were filled with people. The two of them went all the way to the highest floor before finding a seat and ordering some dishes. The two of them chatted as they ate. After half a month of cultivation, Xian Yanqing's mastery of one of the martial arts techniques that she cultivated had greatly improved. Her combat strength had also increased by a lot. The fifth floor was divided into two areas. One was a private room and the other was an ordinary dining table. At that moment, the door of one of the private rooms opened and two young men walked out. Ice Dragon. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. One of the young men was Ice Dragon, who he had defeated. The other young man walked side by side with Ice Dragon. He had a confident smile on his face. Apparently, he was also a genius of the same level as Ice Dragon. They are the geniuses of the Blood Sun continent. Lu Ming looked at the other young man and his heart skipped a beat. The Blood Sun continent was ranked second among the ancient city of gods. This continent was also filled with experts and geniuses. Although it wasn't comparable to the ancient city of gods, it was stronger than the other continents and could not be underestimated. The two of them walked directly to Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's table. Lu Ming squinted his eyes slightly and drank his wine. "You are Lu Ming, right?" Ice Dragon looked at Lu Ming and said coldly. "Not bad. Looks like you have a good memory." Lu Ming said, "We'll settle our scores another day." Ice Dragon said and looked at Xian Yanqing. "You are Xian Yanqing, right?" "That's right." Xian Yanqing said. "Very good, your opportunity has come. The person in the private room is young Master Lin, a peerless genius from the Heavenly Divine Sect. He thinks you're not bad, so he asked you to accompany him for a drink. If you accompany him well, you might even have the chance to sleep with him. Then, you'll be able to climb up the social ladder." Ice Dragon said. Chapter 1252. Get lost. Xian Yanqing scolded coldly. "What did you say?" Bing Bing's face darkened, and so did the Sky Pride from the Blood Sun continent. "She asked you to get lost. Didn't you hear her?" Lu Ming said indifferently. "Brat, what does this have to do with you?" "Shut up." The Sky Pride from the Blood Sun continent scolded and slapped Lu Ming's face. Slap. A crisp sound rang out. A person staggered back. It wasn't Lu Ming, but the young man from the Blood Sun continent. A palm print appeared on his face, and one side of his face was swollen. He looked at Lu Ming in confusion, unable to wrap his head around the situation. He was the one who made the first move, but Lu Ming's speed was so fast that his slap landed on his face. His head buzzed and he was completely dazed. "How dare you, Lu Ming? Do you know that you dare to attack us? Do you know that we represent Sir Lin?" Bing Bing scolded. "Get lost." Lu Ming scolded, and a cold, killing intent erupted from his body. This killing intent made Bing Bing shiver. Who cared if he was Sir Lin, or if he was a Sky Pride from the Celestial Divinity sect? It would be fine if it was something else, but when it came to Xian Yanqing, Lu Ming wouldn't give anyone face. Hee hee. At this moment, a chuckle came from the private room. Then, a handsome young man in a white robe walked out. Lu Ming had seen him before. He was one of the 3 Sky Prides from the Celestial Divinity sect who had come to the Godly Ruins continent. Sir Lin came to Lu Ming's table indifferently. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold and arrogant. He looked down at Lu Ming and said, "Miss, it's a pity that you were born in the Godly Ruins continent. Are you willing to follow me? When the time comes, you won't need to participate in the selection. You can directly enter the Celestial Divinity sect to cultivate and become an official disciple." These words made the Sky Prides of the Blood Yang continent and Bing Bing envious. The eyes of the other people in the restaurant were even more fiery. They wished they could be Xian Yanqing and replace Xian Yanqing. Young Master Lin had a confident smile on his face. He believed that in this continent of God, no one would reject such a tempting request. Not interested, Xian Yanqing said coldly, which made young Master Lin's face stiffen. Miss, you'd better consider this carefully. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. Young Master Lin continued. I said I'm not interested. Xian Yanqing's brows furrowed as he grew impatient. Xian Yanqing would have flipped out long ago if it wasn't for the fact that the other party was a genius of the Heavenly God sect. He really doesn't know what's good for him. Short-sighted and pretended to be virtuous. She's just a bitch. Lung Bing and the young man from the Blood Sun continent shouted one after another. Boom. Lu Ming's body exploded with intense killing intent. His cold eyes fell on the young man from the Blood Sun continent. He said in a cold voice, since you said those words just now, you're dead meat. The sky prides of the Blood Sun continent couldn't help but shudder under Lu Ming's cold gaze. However, when he thought of young Master Lin, he regained his courage and said, I'm talking about the matter. What? You still want to attack young Master Lin? Kill. Suddenly, Lu Ming shouted coldly. He rushed out and struck a palm at the young man from the Blood Sun continent. The young man from the Blood Sun continent was also at the 7th level Spirit God realm. However, he was completely stunned by Lu Ming's palm. This palm contained a terrifying pressure that acted on his body, causing him to be unable to move at all. Young Master Lin, help! The young man from the Blood Sun continent shouted in horror. How dare you attack in front of me? Young Master Lin's face was gloomy. His body moved slightly. Almost no one could see his movement clearly. His body suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ming and struck a palm at Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming's palm collided with young Master Lin's and made a dull sound. Both of their bodies shook slightly and took a step back. Peak 8th level Spirit God realm. Lu Ming's heart jumped. Young Master Lin's cultivation was at the peak of the 8th level Spirit God realm. Young Master Lin was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Lu Ming to be able to take his palm. However, the coldness in his eyes became stronger. Sky Wind Palm. Young Master Lin's palm emitted a green light. He struck a palm at Lu Ming. There was no doubt that young Master Lin was using a concept martial technique. Moreover, he had reached the 3rd level. Sizzle, there were traces of lightning flashing on Lu Ming's palm. He cast the Thunder God strike and struck with his palm again, clashing with young Master Lin's palm. Bang! In the end, both of them took a few steps back. You're courting death. That young Master Lin was furious. He felt embarrassed that he couldn't take down Lu Ming in 2 consecutive moves. He was ready to use his killing move to kill Lu Ming. Swoosh! Lu Ming used the 9 dragon sky stomping steps. His body flashed like a flickering shadow. He stepped over young Master Lin and struck a palm at the youth from the Blood Sun continent. This palm was as fast as lightning. Even young Master Lin couldn't react in time. The youth from the Blood Sun continent widened his eyes in shock. However, in the next moment, his body was torn apart by Lu Ming's palm. He was killed on the spot. Sizzle, many people gasped in shock. Firstly, they were shocked by Lu Ming's battle strength. A peak 7th level Spirit God realm genius was as weak as a baby in front of Lu Ming. He couldn't resist at all. Secondly, they were shocked by Lu Ming's courage. He dared to kill a genius who was with young Master Lin in front of him. This was a slap to young Master Lin's face. On the side, Lung Bing's expression changed drastically. He quickly retreated. After not seeing Lu Ming for a while, he felt that Lu Ming's battle strength had become stronger. He was much stronger than the last time he fought with him. This made Lung Bing fearful. Kid, you're courting death. No one can save you. As expected, young Master Lin's expression was extremely gloomy. A green light flickered on his body like a burning green flame. A cold, killing intent bloomed in the restaurant. Many people's expressions changed as they retreated out of the restaurant. They were afraid of being affected by this terrifying killing intent. I'm afraid you're still lacking. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you. Let's go out and fight. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He didn't give young Master Lin any face. Then, he stepped out and appeared in the sky outside the restaurant. You can't escape. Young Master Lin also stepped out and appeared in the sky above the restaurant, facing Lu Ming. The heavenly god sect's genius is going to fight. This news spread out like a whirlwind. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Not long after, countless figures appeared in the area, watching from afar. It's really the heavenly god sect's genius. Who is that young man? How dare he fight with the heavenly god sect's genius? How audacious! Let's not talk about how noble young Master Lin is. Even young Master Lin's combat power is absolutely shocking. Judging from his aura, young Master Lin's cultivation is at the peak of the 8th level spirit god realm. However, young Master Lin is the heavenly god sect's genius. His cultivation techniques and martial skills are absolutely top-notch. His battle strength is absolutely terrifying. This person dares to fight with young Master Lin. Who is he? I know him. He seems to be from the Southern Divine Palace. He's from the Divine Wilderness Continent. The Divine Wilderness Continent? That remote place? Chapter 1253. Brat, I'll kill you in 3 moves. Young Master Lin roared. The green light around his body formed a pillar of light that shot up to the sky. Heavenly Wind 100 Palm. Young Master Lin waved his palm. A palm print whistled as it charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming stepped out. 9 dragon powers erupted from his body as he activated the Thunder God Strike. He punched out and a phoenix formed by lightning flew towards young Master Lin. Boom! The lightning phoenix clashed with Lin Fan's palm print. Break! Young Master Lin revealed a ferocious expression. Boom! 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 The moment the two clashed, young Master Lin's green palm print exploded. The palm print actually released a terrifying force of 100 layers. The thunder and lightning phoenix that Lu Ming cast was defeated in no time. The palm print continued to charge towards Lu Ming. Die, trash! Young Master Lin roared in his heart. What a mystical intent realm martial technique! Lu Ming's eyes moved. Young Master Lin's intent realm martial technique was obviously a lower divine martial technique, and he had only cultivated it to the 3rd level. However, the power that it released was extremely shocking. It could only be said that young Master Lin's intent realm martial technique was of high quality. It was even more mystical than the Thunder God Strike. It made sense. Young Master Lin was an official disciple of the Divine Sky Sect. Lu Ming had only learned the Thunder God Strike in the 1st round of the examination. Naturally, it was impossible for him to learn it as well as young Master Lin. Suppressing Hell Art. Lu Ming activated the Suppressing Hell Art and punched out. Bam! Bam! There was an intense explosion. Lu Ming's punch broke through young Master Lin's force of 100 layers. Then, Lu Ming stepped out and punched out again. This punch was straightforward, but its power was shockingly strong. Young Master Lin struck out a few more times to counter Lu Ming's attack. However, after a few explosions, young Master Lin staggered back. This left everyone flabbergasted. A disciple from the Divine Sky sect of the Yuanlu continent couldn't defeat Lu Ming? And Lu Ming was only from the Divine Wilderness continent. How could he be so powerful? So shocking? Kill, kill, kill. The gazes of the crowd made young Master Lin go crazy. His murderous intent was at its peak. He was a disciple of the Heavenly Divinity sect, just like those high and mighty princes of the mortal world who lived in the imperial city. As for Lu Ming, he was from a remote village. There was no way he could compare to him. But now he was being suppressed. How could he tolerate this? He roared in his heart, and his true essence crazily revolved. He wished he could tear Lu Ming to pieces. This is the battle prowess of the Heavenly God Sect's prodigies? In my opinion, you're nothing in the Heavenly Divinity sect. Otherwise, how could it be so weak? Lu Ming sneered. The Yuanlu was the core of the Yuanlu realm. It was a holy land for cultivators. Many sovereigns racked their brains to join the major factions in the Yuanlu realm. The Celestial Divine Sect was a great sect in Yuanlu. If young Master Lin was really a genius of the Celestial Divine Sect, he wouldn't be so weak. Lu Ming guessed that Sir Lin's position in the Heavenly Divinity Sect was very ordinary. Trash, you're courting death. Lu Ming's words seemed to have hurt young Master Lin, causing him to scream hysterically. He had completely lost his composure. Yes, Lu Ming was right. In the heavenly divinity sect, there were countless prodigies. People like him were at the bottom of the hierarchy. He had to bow and scrape every day and look at other people's faces. Therefore, he took this opportunity to come to the Godly Ruins continent. He originally thought that he would be able to show off and enjoy himself in the Godly Ruins continent. He did not expect to be suppressed and mocked by trash. He went completely berserk. With a screech, a green divine eagle appeared above young Master Lin's head. Without a doubt, it was a level 9 divine bloodline. Its body was emitting a green glow. Young Master Lin transformed into a divine eagle and was about to use his strongest killing move to kill Lu Ming. Enough! At this moment, a majestic voice was heard. A middle-aged man appeared in the sky. This man was also the envoy of the heavenly divinity sect. He had been following behind the white-haired elder. The moment he appeared, he stood in front of young Master Lin. No, a piece of trash dares to insult me. He's not putting the heavenly divinity sect in his eyes. I'm going to kill him. Young Master Lin screamed hysterically. Enough! Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? The deacon asked me to bring you back. The middle-aged man said. Upon hearing the word deacon, young Master Lin shuddered. He seemed to be very afraid. He turned his gaze, gritted his teeth, and transformed into his human form. He stared coldly at Lu Ming. Kid, I'll let you go today. However, this matter is not over yet. Leaving behind a cold sentence, young Master Lin turned around and left the place. The middle-aged man casually glanced at Lu Ming. No one knew what he was thinking, but he turned around and left as well. A great battle ended just like that. The surrounding onlookers felt that it was a pity. This Lu Ming offended young Master Lin. I guess he won't have a good time. It'll be difficult for him to be chosen by the heavenly divinity sect. Some people were discussing. Shao Qing, let's go. Lu Ming came to Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming, I've implicated you. I'm afraid that you won't be able to enter the heavenly divinity sect because of this. Xian Yanqing said. Fool, it's fine if I can't enter. At most, we'll go to Yunlu and find a sect to join. Lu Ming scratched Xian Yanqing's nose and smiled. The two of them returned to their residence. Half a day later, the second round of the heavenly divinity sect's selection would begin. The remaining 500 geniuses from the four directions' divine palaces gathered around Tiangang Peak. What's going on? Why isn't Lei Niu here? The leading elder from the West Divine Palace frowned. Lei Niu was one of the 3 strongest supreme talents from the West Divine Palace. Although he had lost one of his arms, his combat strength was still very strong. There was still a chance that he would be chosen by the heavenly divinity sect. The West Divine Palace still had high hopes for Lei Niu. But at this moment, Lei Niu was nowhere to be seen. The leading elder had a bad feeling. I heard that Lei Niu went to the lightning region to cultivate and recover. A young man said. Did he meet with an accident in the lightning region? I heard that he brought experts with him. There were even honorable realm experts. The supreme talents from the West Divine Palace discussed softly. But as time passed, Lei Niu still did not appear. Many people knew that Lei Niu must have met with an accident. Otherwise, it was impossible for him to not appear. This was the heavenly divinity sect's selection. 6 figures appeared in the sky. The people from the heavenly divinity sect had arrived. The leader was still the white-haired old man. Behind him were 2 burly men. Behind them were 3 young men. Young Master Lin was among them. His gaze swept across and landed on Lu Ming. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Kid, you're dreaming if you want to join the heavenly divinity sect. After this selection, I'll find a chance to kill you. Young Master Lin sneered. All right, the second round of arrangements has been completed. Chapter 1254. Light doors floated in the air. At a glance, there were more than 500 of them. Moreover, with the light doors as the starting point, the void was undulating and trembling. Spiritual consciousness spread out and formed many void passageways. However, it was difficult to see them with the naked eye. Here, every light door represents the entrance of a void passageway. In these void passageways, there will be various tests. Moreover, every two of these void passageways can meet at random. The meeting point will be your battlefield. Only the winner will be able to move on. Moreover, we will be able to see the battles at the meeting point. Therefore, you must do your best. The white-haired old man explained. What a wonderful selection method. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. More than 500 people would enter a void passageway. After passing the test, 2 void passageways would meet at random. The 2 people in the 2 void passageways would fight. The winner would continue to pass the test while the loser would be eliminated. This would continue until the most powerful person was determined. Moreover, the people of the Celestial God sect could see from the outside. Therefore, they could observe everyone's performance and choose the most suitable disciples. Alright, now, you can choose any light door and enter, the white-haired old man announced. However, before he could finish, his expression suddenly changed and he looked up at the sky. High up in the sky, there were 9 ancient altars floating. Legend had it that the 9 altars were once connected to the 9 major forces of Yuanlu in the distant past. They were the spatial passageways that connected each other. The Celestial God sect had come from one of the ancient altars. At this moment, one of the 8 altars was shining. This scene caused everyone's hearts to tremble. The ancient altars were shining. Could it be that another major force of Yuanlu was coming? Could it be that other major forces of Yuanlu are coming? Oh my God, it's already a surprise that the Celestial God sect is coming. Not bad, this is a great opportunity. Many people were discussing excitedly. Even the sovereigns were extremely excited as they stared at the altars. What's going on? Which force is it? Behind the white-haired old man, a big man frowned and said. The white-haired old man also frowned. Buzz. The altars shook slightly. Many inscriptions were shining and the light was getting brighter. In the end, a few figures emerged from the altar. There were a total of 5 people. 2 of them were young, while the other 3 were middle-aged men and a middle-aged woman. However, judging from the situation, the middle-aged woman was the leader. All 5 of them carried long swords on their backs and wore long purple robes with strange patterns embroidered on them. 9 Heaven Sword Sect. The Heavenly God sect's white-haired elder's expression changed. Looks like I'm not late. I finally made it. The middle-aged woman with a long sword on her back said, 9 Heaven Sword Sect, what are you doing here? The white-haired elder from the Celestial God sect said coldly, of course we're here to select young geniuses to join our 9 Heaven Sword Sect. Am I not welcome? The middle-aged woman smiled. The Heavenly God sect was the first to arrive at the continent of divine ruins. All of this was set up by us. The white-haired old man said with a cold face. You guys are just one step ahead of us. Moreover, how much effort would it take to set up all this? The Godly Ruins Continent Group doesn't only belong to your Heavenly God sect. Our 9 Heaven Sword sect can naturally come as well. The middle-aged woman said indifferently. At the side, the people from the Continent of Divine Ruins group were extremely excited when they saw this scene. Another Yuanlu sect had arrived. Moreover, they were here to recruit disciples as well. With this, the chances of being selected would undoubtedly be higher, especially those young geniuses who were overjoyed. Buzz. At this moment, the altar above them shook again and emitted light. Everyone was dumbfounded. It's moving again. Could it be that another Yuanlu sect is here? What's going on? In the past, no Yuanlu sect had ever come to the continent of divine ruins to recruit disciples. Why are there so many Yuanlu sects here this time? This is good news. This is good news. Everyone was discussing excitedly. However, in the next moment, their pupils dilated rapidly. That was because other than that altar, there was another altar that was emitting light. The people from the continent of divine ruins group were stunned. The Yuanlu sects were coming one after another. The white-haired elder from the Heavenly God sect and the others looked extremely gloomy. Buzz. Buzz. The 2 altars emitted 2 soft cries and a few figures appeared on each of them. 5 figures appeared on one of the altars. All of them were men and they emitted an aura of superiority. They were like the kings of the beasts. On the other side, 6 figures appeared. Each of them had a monstrous demonic aura, and their demonic aura shook the world. Both sides had young geniuses following them, and they were looking at each other curiously. Heavenly Universe Demon Sect, Divine Dragon Valley. The white-haired elder muttered as a dignified look flashed across his eyes. Ha! Looks like we are not late. The Heavenly God Sect has not succeeded yet. A burly man laughed from the side that was filled with the aura of the kings of the beasts. They were from the Divine Dragon Valley. It's good that we are not late. The side that was filled with demonic aura was from the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect. A tall and skinny elder said faintly. The 9 Heaven Sword Sect, Heavenly Universe Demon Sect, and Divine Dragon Valley stepped out and stood with the people from the Heavenly God Sect. It's too easy for you to come now. Everything was set up by us. The white-haired elder said. It's just some setup. We will compensate you according to its value. The middle-aged lady from the 9 Heaven Sword Sect said. That's right. These are small matters. The tall and skinny elder from the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect sneered. In the end, the white-haired elder had no choice but to allow the other 3 forces to participate in the selection of disciples. These 3 forces were not weaker than the Heavenly God Sect in the Yuanlu. They were forces of the same level. At the scene, more than 500 young geniuses were excited and their eyes shone with a fiery light. The 4 major forces of the Yuanlu had come to recruit disciples. This was a supreme opportunity, and they were filled with anticipation. They swore to themselves that they would seize it well. All right, now you may begin. The white-haired elder looked at Lu Ming and the others again. Let's go. This is my opportunity. I must join the major forces of the Yuanlu. I must break through the sovereign realm and become a sage. I must reach the peak. No one can stop me. Each of the geniuses' eyes shone brightly as they rushed towards the light doors. Bush, bush. Each of the geniuses rushed into the light doors excitedly and disappeared. Shao Qing, let's go. Lu Ming looked at Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing nodded his head, and the 2 of them flew towards a light door. Stop right there. At this moment, a cold voice was heard. A figure appeared in front of Lu Ming and blocked his path. It was Master Lin, the genius from the Heavenly God Sect. Chapter 1255. But now, the situation had changed. The 9 Heaven Sword Sect, the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect, and the Divine Dragon Valley had gathered. Even if the Celestial Divine Sect did not choose Lu Ming, there was a possibility that he would join the other 3 sections. Young Master Lin would never allow such a thing to happen. Therefore, he stood out and stood in front of Lu Ming. Many people looked at young Master Lin in surprise, not understanding what was going on. But some people were enlightened because they knew about the conflict between Lu Ming and young Master Lin. Half a day ago, Lu Ming and young Master Lin had a conflict and even fought. In the end, young Master Lin could not do anything to Lu Ming. I knew it would not end like this. What? There's such a thing? Lu Ming is so powerful that even the sky prides of the Heavenly God Sect can't do anything to him? I think young Master Lin did not use his full strength. But Lu Ming's combat strength is too terrifying. If I did not see it with my own eyes, I would not believe it. Many people were discussing. Many people were shocked when they heard about the conflict between Lu Ming and young Master Lin. The white-haired elder and the others of the Heavenly God Sect were surprised, but they did not say anything. The people of the other sects looked on with interest. What do you want? Lu Ming frowned and said coldly. You are not qualified to enter the Void Passage and participate in the test. Young Master Lin said. Ridiculous. You think I'm not qualified just because you say so? Lu Ming sneered. Deacon. At this moment, young Master Lin cupped his fists at the white-haired elder and said, Deacon, Lu Ming has no respect for the Celestial Deity Sect. He thinks that he has some talent, but he doesn't take the Celestial Deity Sect seriously. If such a person joins the Celestial Deity Sect, he will be an arrogant and unruly person. He is not worthy of being nurtured by the Celestial Deity Sect. There's such a thing? The white-haired elder frowned. What nonsense. When have I been disrespectful to the Heavenly God Sect? If I don't bow to you, is that disrespectful to the Heavenly God Sect? Lu Ming sneered. Lu Ming, don't try to quibble. I heard you speak arrogantly and look down on my heavenly god sect. Also, Ice Dragon can testify. Young Master Lin said. That's right, this is true. Ice Dragon said coldly. Not only that, Vice Deacon Zhao can also testify. Young Master Lin looked at the middle-aged man behind the white-haired old man. This middle-aged man was the one who had taken young Master Lin away. At this moment, the middle-aged man nodded and said, there is indeed such a thing. The fact that two people had come forward to testify caused the white-haired old man to frown even more. He pondered for a moment and said, if that's the case, then this kid doesn't need to participate in the trial. Young Master Lin was overjoyed at his words. Lu Ming, on the other hand, burst into laughter. This was blatant slander. From the beginning to the end, Lu Ming had only targeted young Master Lin. He had never said a single bad word about the Celestial God sect. This was purely false. Also, that middle-aged man had obviously colluded with young Master Lin. Who knew what benefits young Master Lin had given him? No one from the other three major sects spoke. In their eyes, Lu Ming was just an insignificant character. They did not take him seriously at all. Ridiculous, this is really ridiculous. Is this the disciple of a major sect in Yuanlu? His talent is average and his character is even worse. Lu Ming laughed out loud, his eyes filled with mockery. Kid, what did you say? Who are you calling average? Young Master Lin was furious. Of course I'm talking about you. If the Celestial God sect is like you, then I don't mind not joining the Celestial God sect. Lu Ming mocked. Presumptuous. How dare you? The middle-aged man from the Celestial God sect and young Master Lin both shouted in an overbearing manner. Kid, you escaped death last time. This time, you're dead. Young Master Lin's eyes were cold and his killing intent was extremely dense. It shrouded Lu Ming. I escaped death last time? Are you sure you're not the one who escaped death last time? Alright, I'll challenge you in front of everyone now. I'll defeat you in 10 moves. Do you dare to accept the challenge? Lu Ming took a step forward. His voice was filled with battle intent and it spread far and wide. What? Lu Ming challenged young Master Lin and said he'll defeat him in 10 moves. Crazy, he's crazy. He's definitely crazy. That's the supreme talent of the Celestial God sect. Lu Ming's words caused an uproar. The Celestial God sect was a major sect in Yuanlu. In the hearts of the people in the Divine Ruins mainland, it was a high and mighty existence. It was an unfathomable and powerful force. The supreme talent of the Celestial God sect was a peerless existence in the hearts of the people. Now, Lu Ming had challenged young Master Lin. What was even more exaggerated was that he wanted to defeat young Master Lin in 10 moves. How was that possible? No one would believe it. At that moment, some of the supreme talents who had not flown into the light door stopped. They were not in a hurry to go in. Instead, they stood outside and watched. Lu Ming is strong in the Divine Wilderness mainland. However, he still dares to be so arrogant here. He even dares to offend the supreme talent of the Celestial God sect. He's courting his own death. Underworld Child stood in the air and sneered. What do you know? I don't think so. A voice was heard. It was Long Chen's voice. Underworld Child's expression changed slightly. He was very wary of Long Chen. However, he felt disdain in his heart. He thought to himself, just wait and see. This Lu Ming will die miserably. At that moment, almost everyone's gaze fell on young Master Lin. A supreme talent from a small continent had challenged the supreme talent of the Celestial God sect. Would young Master Lin accept the challenge? If he didn't accept the challenge, he would lose all his face. If this matter was spread to the Celestial God sect, he wouldn't be able to show his face anymore. Damn it! Young Master Lin roared in his heart. His eyes were extremely cold as he said, All right, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. When he fought with Lu Ming previously, he didn't use his full strength. He was confident that if he used his full strength, he would definitely be able to kill Lu Ming. Needless to say, it was impossible for Lu Ming to defeat him within 10 moves. Kill! Young Master Lin was filled with killing intent. His aura was shocking as a green light filled the air. A bloodline appeared above his head. Young Master Lin used his full strength right from the start. He executed the bloodline fusion technique to the maximum and charged towards Lu Ming. Dragon roars sounded from Lu Ming's body. 9 streaks of dragon energy burst out instantly. At the same time, the third bloodline appeared. Swoosh! Lu Ming took a step forward and charged towards young Master Lin. As he charged, the 9 dragons bloodline appeared. When Lu Ming's 9 dragons bloodline appeared, the experts of the Divine Dragon Valley widened their eyes in shock. This is the 9 dragons bloodline. It really is the 9 dragons bloodline. I can't believe someone can awaken the 9 dragons bloodline in this world. Voices of disbelief were heard from the experts of the Divine Dragon Valley. The Divine Dragon Valley wants this kid. The leader of the Dragon God Valley was a burly man with a burning gaze. As the name suggested, the Divine Dragon Valley was related to dragons. Now that they saw the 9 dragons bloodline, it was too shocking. Bam! Bam! Chapter 1256. Once Lu Ming made his move, apart from a few trump cards that he did not use, he used almost all his strength. Some of the 9 dragon claws were shining with lightning. They were using the Thunder Intent Realm martial technique, Thunder God Strike. The other dragon claws were using the Suppressing Hell art. The combination of the two was terrifying. Young Master Lin's green wings brought with it endless wind. With a flap of his wings, countless wind blades cut through the space and attacked Lu Ming. With a series of explosions, the dragon claws broke through the wind blades and grabbed at young Master Lin. Young Master Lin's expression changed. He was shocked. He didn't expect that he would be at a disadvantage after using the bloodline fusion. Shwa! He flapped his wings and a hurricane swept out. His huge body suddenly shook and disappeared, appearing on the other side. Another Intent Realm martial technique. Lu Ming frowned. Young Master Lin had obviously mastered more than one Intent Realm martial technique. He had mastered 2 or even more. Before, young Master Lin had used an offensive Intent Realm martial technique. But now, he was using a movement Intent Realm martial technique. In addition, he had mainly comprehended the Wind Intent Realm, which made his speed extremely fast. Die! Young Master Lin's eyes were cold. He flapped his wings again and his body turned into a gust of wind, disappearing on the spot. At the same time, Lu Ming felt a terrifying sense of danger. A dragon roar sounded and a devouring power burst out, covering 100 miles. Then, the dragon swung its tail and swept in all directions. The dragon tail pierced through the void and clashed with a pair of sharp wings. Then, young Master Lin's body was pushed back. But young Master Lin flapped his wings again and disappeared. Young Master Lin had used 2 Intent Realm martial techniques together. His combat strength was indeed very strong. It was difficult to fight against someone of the same level. However, he had met Lu Ming. Shwa! Shwa! The 9 dragon claws suddenly formed a strange seal. At this moment, 2 sharp auras slashed at Lu Ming. I've been waiting for you. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. 3 sealed doors suddenly appeared and landed on Lu Ming's left side, emitting a bright light. The 9 seals of the God Gate sealed everything. As soon as the 3 sealed doors appeared, young Master Lin's cyan-winged figure suddenly appeared and was suppressed in the middle of the 3 sealed doors. Break, break! Young Master Lin bellowed. Green light flared up like a tidal wave as it rained down on the 3 sealed doors. The 3 sealed doors began to tremble violently, as if they were about to collapse at any moment. But for Lu Ming, this short while was enough. Whoosh! Whoosh! The dragon claws slashed out and continuously struck young Master Lin's body. Young Master Lin cried out in pain as the green energy was torn apart. Bang! Finally, a dragon claw grabbed the neck of the green godly eagle and squeezed hard. The green godly eagle's head directly exploded. The green godly eagle also turned into energy and dissipated. Young Master Lin's figure flew rapidly in the green light that filled the sky. His bloodline was destroyed and he was severely injured. He spat out mouthfuls of blood and fled for his life. Lu Ming took a step forward and used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. His body was like a ray of light as he caught up with young Master Lin in an instant. Young Master Lin fought back with all his might. Unfortunately, he was severely injured and it was useless. Lu Ming broke through his layers of defense and grabbed him. Young Master Lin was caught in the palm of the dragon claw and couldn't move. This scene shocked the surrounding onlookers. They couldn't believe it. The genius of the Heavenly God sect, young Master Lin, couldn't defeat Lu Ming. He was really taken down by Lu Ming within 10 moves. His life was in the palm of Lu Ming's hand. Moreover, Lu Ming was only from the Divine Wilderness continent. If it were the strongest geniuses of the Divine Wilderness continent, it would be possible. But it was unbelievable for a young man from the Divine Wilderness continent to do it. Even the sovereigns were a little stunned. On the other hand, the top-notch geniuses of the continent of Divine Ruins looked at Lu Ming with grave expressions. Given Lu Ming's combat abilities, there was no doubt that he would become one of their greatest opponents. "Ah, bastard, let go of me. I'm going to kill you." Young Master Lin was so embarrassed that he was going crazy after being defeated in 10 moves and held in the palm of Lu Ming's hand. His eyes were red as he let out a hysterical roar. If this matter were to spread to the Heavenly God sect, he would definitely become a laughingstock in the future. He hated that he couldn't wait to skin Lu Ming and pull out his tendons. "Is that so? Don't you know the current situation?" Lu Ming sneered and clenched his claw. Crack crack. Many of young Master Lin's bones were broken. He trembled all over and spat out mouthfuls of blood. He was in so much pain that he almost fainted. At this moment, he was like a weak little chick in the palm of Lu Ming's hand. His life and death were all in Lu Ming's hands. "Believe it or not, I'll kill you right now." Lu Ming's eyes were cold. The murderous intent of the third bloodline enveloped young Master Lin like a tidal wave. Young Master Lin felt like he was in the Azura hell. His heart began to tremble. "How dare you? He's a disciple of the Heavenly God sect. Let go of him." At this moment, a big man from the Heavenly God sect spoke. He was the expert that Lu Ming suspected had been bribed by young Master Lin. As he spoke, a terrifying aura was released and enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt like he was being covered by a mountain and he couldn't move at all. Strong, too strong. Lu Ming felt like he couldn't fight back against this middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was definitely stronger than the black-robed middle-aged man from the Southern Divine Palace. His cultivation was above the third-level martial royal realm. The white-haired old man from the Heavenly God sect frowned but didn't say anything. "Huh, it's a fight between the younger generation. You're just an emperor. Why are you interfering?" Over at the Divine Dragon Valley, a burly man laughed. An aura rushed out and collided with the middle-aged man's aura, knocking it away. Lu Ming's body relaxed. He took a step back and retreated rapidly. "What do you mean?" The middle-aged man from the Heavenly God sect looked at the man from the Dragon God Valley seriously. "Nothing. I just couldn't stand it." The big man from the Dragon God Valley laughed. "Let go of him. You win this round." At this moment, the white-haired old man from the Heavenly God sect spoke. "Here you go." Lu Ming waved his dragon claw and flung young Master Lin's body away. Young Master Lin was half dead and he couldn't even float in the air. The middle-aged man waved his hand and caught young Master Lin. Damn it, damn it." Young Master Lin's eyes were filled with hatred as he stared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming transformed into his human form and pulled Xian Yanqing's hand. He said, "Shao Qing, let's go." Since they didn't want him to take part in the test, he would just leave. "Hold on." At this moment, a deep voice was heard. It was the big man from the Dragon God Valley. "I am Long Quan from the Dragon God Valley. How should I address you?" Chapter 1257. I am Lu Ming. Lu Ming cupped his fists and replied. Since Long Quan had helped him just now, he had a good impression of Long Quan. Naturally, he would answer Long Quan's question. Lu Ming. Great. A young hero. It's rare to be able to cultivate to such a level at such a young age in the continent of God. It would be a pity if you don't take part in the assessment. On behalf of the Divine Dragon Valley, I invite you to take part in the assessment. Long Quan said loudly. No, he can't take part, young Master Lin shouted. Shut up. Who do you think you are? Who are you to interrupt me when I'm speaking? Long Quan's eyes turned cold as an extremely powerful aura burst out. The terrifying aura caused the entire area to tremble. Young Master Lin's face turned pale. I invite Lu Ming to take part in the assessment. Do you have any objections? Long Quan looked at the 9 Heaven Sword sect and Sky Demon sect before looking at the white-haired old man from the Heavenly Divine sect. No objections. Of course I have no objections. The leaders of the 9 Heaven Sword sect and Sky Demon sect nodded. Since he is so powerful, I have no objections. The white-haired old man from the Heavenly Divine sect said. Damn it. Young Master Lin hollered in rage and was filled with unwillingness. Ha, that's great. Lu Ming, what do you say? Long Quan laughed and looked at Lu Ming again. Senior, how can I reject your kind intentions? Lu Ming cupped his fists. All right, let the assessment begin. Long Quan waved his hand. Whoosh, whoosh. Their figures flashed as they rushed into the light gates one by one. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing separated. Each of them chose a light gate and rushed in. At this moment, some of them had already gone in for a while, but there was still no movement. As soon as Lu Ming rushed into the light gate, he felt a ray of light enveloping him. His body felt slightly warm. In the next moment, the feeling disappeared. Lu Ming found himself in a tunnel. The passageway was very wide, and the surrounding walls were covered with shining inscriptions. According to the rules, they had to keep going forward in the void tunnel. Whoever reached the end would be the winner. Lu Ming took a step forward. There was no movement along the way. After walking for a few thousand meters, the appearance of the passageway changed. It was now surrounded by stone walls. As soon as Lu Ming stepped into this passage, his expression changed slightly. The reason for that was because at that moment, the aura emitting from his body began to weaken rapidly. In the end, it returned to its ordinary state. His cultivation had been suppressed, making him seem like a mortal. Not only had his Zhen Yuan, but his state of mind and bloodline been suppressed as well. Lu Ming sensed carefully and found that his prison-suppressing steel bloodline was glowing, and there was even a trace of fluctuation. As for the third bloodline, Lu Ming felt that he could completely control it, and it was not suppressed at all. Only the 9 Dragons bloodline was completely suppressed. Lu Ming's expression did not change as he looked around. On the surrounding stone walls, there were messy carvings of different depths. They were in a disorderly mess. In front of him, a light flashed and a figure condensed. This person looked like a young man in a black robe. He had a cold expression and carried a long spear on his back. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that this person was condensed by a formation. The long spear shook, and the spear light stabbed at Lu Ming like lightning. However, the spear light did not contain any Zhen Yuan. It was probably just physical strength, which was comparable to Lu Ming's physical strength. Lu Ming subconsciously wanted to use the power of his third bloodline to defeat this figure. However, Lu Ming immediately stopped releasing the third bloodline. This level could even suppress the 9 Dragons bloodline, which meant that he was not supposed to use his bloodline power to pass. If he used his bloodline power, it might be sensed by others. That would be too special. His prison-suppressing steel bloodline, especially his third bloodline, was very special. He did not want others to discover it. Thinking of this, he did not use his bloodline. Instead, he used his physical strength and rushed to the right, because there was a black spear there. Whoosh, whoosh. The spear light was like lightning, enveloping Lu Ming's body. This was an extremely exquisite spear technique. Although its power was not great, the trajectory of its movement was incomparably exquisite. Lu Ming had no Zhen Yuan in his body, and he could not use his intent realm. He could not use any martial skills to resist at all. He could only rely on his physical strength to dodge. Rip. Lu Ming's back was cut by the spear light, tearing a hole in his clothes. If not for Lu Ming's quick reaction, he would have been injured. Fortunately, Lu Ming had fought countless battles along the way and was very experienced in combat. He took a few steps and dodged the attack. He rushed to the front of the black spear, picked it up, and swept it out. Clang. The two spears collided with a clang. Lu Ming felt his arm go numb, and he took 2 steps back. The black-robed youth condensed by the formation had the same physical strength as Lu Ming, but he had the support of a mysterious martial skill. His attack power was above Lu Ming's. Whoosh, whoosh. The cold tip of the spear transformed into rays of sharp cold light, piercing through the air and piercing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the spear and stared at the opponent's spear light. He then stabbed out a few times. But in the next moment, Lu Ming's face changed. He felt that his spear had stabbed nothing. He was very confident that he could block the opponent's attack with a few stabs. But after stabbing out, he found that he had stabbed nothing but air. The opponent's spear tip shook slightly, and then continued to stab at him. The exquisiteness of the spear art was really unfathomable. What a powerful spear art! It combines strength and speed to the peak. When used, it is unpredictable and hard to predict. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. If his cultivation was not suppressed, such a spear art, although incomparably exquisite, would be useless in front of absolute power. Lu Ming's palm strike could break any exquisite martial skill like tofu. But now, under the situation where his cultivation was suppressed, this martial skill was able to display a great power. Bam! At the critical moment, Lu Ming took a step back and his body retreated far away. But there was still a wound on his chest. He had been stabbed by the spear tip. Whoosh, whoosh. As Lu Ming retreated, the black-robed youth's spear aura surged towards Lu Ming like an endless tide. Lu Ming retreated and tried his best to dodge. At the same time, he was thinking about how to counter the opponent's attack. At this moment, outside the ancient city of the ruins of deity, outside the void tunnel, countless people stood in the air and watched. Suddenly, the light door shone and a figure appeared. Someone has failed. Someone whispered. Obviously, someone had failed and was teleported out. Sigh. Those who were teleported out shook their heads and sighed. They could not even pass the first round. It was almost impossible for them to be chosen by the major sects of Yuanlu. The people of the 4 major sects of Yuanlu were expressionless. They did not even look at those who had failed. Chapter 1258. People continued to fail and were sent out. Suddenly, a light spot lit up in the void ahead. It was very eye-catching. Everyone hurriedly looked over and found that a battle stage had appeared in the light spot. A young man stepped onto the battle stage. That's Bing Kong from Divine Palace North. I didn't expect him to be the first to pass the first stage. He is the strongest genius of the younger generation of Divine Palace North. He really lives up to his reputation. Many people exclaimed as they recognized the young man. Divine Palace North was the strongest force of the 4 Divine Palaces. As the number 1 genius of Divine Palace North, his strength was absolutely terrifying. After Bing Kong came to the battle stage, he sat cross-legged on the battle stage and waited quietly. Now that he was alone, he couldn't continue. He had to wait for the other tunnels to converge with his tunnel, and wait for others to arrive on the battle platform. Only then would the victor be able to continue. At this time, another light spot appeared in another direction. There was also a battle stage in the light spot. A young man with a guqin on his back stepped onto the battle stage. This young man was slender and elegant. He had a faint smile on his face and looked like an elegant gentleman. The strongest genius of Divine Palace East, Edian. Edian of the Phoenix Guqin. Someone said and revealed the origin of this person. This person's reputation was no less than Bing Kong's. Edian carried a guqin on his back and waited quietly on the battle stage. Almost at the same time, 2 light spots appeared in the void. Like before, there were battle stages in the light spots. A young man stepped out from each of them. One of them had purple hair and a heroic spirit. He was the number 1 genius of Divine Palace South, Ziwuji. The other one had a battle sword on his back. His whole body was like an unsheathed sword. Sword chi filled the sky. This person was the strongest genius of Divine Palace West, Sword Battle. The strongest geniuses of the 4 Divine Palaces had all appeared. They each appeared on a battle stage. Obviously, their void passages did not merge in the first stage. In the void passage, Lu Ming continued to dodge the attacks of the black-robed youth. At the same time, he was thinking of a way to break through. All around, the carvings on the stone walls. At this time, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The carvings on the stone walls were very strange. Upon closer inspection, it seemed to be a spear technique. It was a very mystical spear technique. As Lu Ming dodged the black-robed youth's attacks, he carefully observed the carvings. Under Lu Ming's gaze, the carvings began to change. Slowly, it looked like a figure was practicing spear arts. This kind of spear technique can break this young man's spear technique. After a while, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He finally knew what this stage was testing. It was testing one's perception. The purpose of suppressing one's cultivation, conception, and bloodline was to allow the examinees to comprehend a spear art based on the carvings on the stone wall so that they could overcome the other party's spear art. Of course, it was impossible for everyone to be proficient in spear arts. Some people were proficient in sword arts, so it was possible for them to encounter sword arts. Once the key point was discovered, it was not difficult for Lu Ming. Lu Ming's perception was already very shocking. The long spear in Lu Ming's hand shook, and a sharp spear light shot out like lightning, colliding with the long spear of the black-robed youth. Clang, clang, clang. A series of violent sounds rang out. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged dozens of blows. I can indeed break the other party's martial arts. The more Lu Ming used his spear, the faster it became. The long spear was like a black dragon, dancing in the air. After another dozen blows, the long spear in Lu Ming's hand turned into a black lightning bolt, breaking through his opponent's heavy spear barrage and piercing his heart. The black-robed youth exploded. The first stage passed. Lu Ming stepped forward. After crossing the passage, a bright light flashed in front of him. It was actually a battle stage. Lu Ming stepped onto the battle stage. I'm still alone. Looks like I have to wait. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as he sat cross-legged on the battle stage. Outside, the onlookers naturally saw Lu Ming. Lu Ming is indeed powerful. He's the sixth person to pass the first stage. It's amazing that a genius of the divine wilderness continent can do this. Some people were discussing. Just now, after the four strongest geniuses of the four cardinal divine palaces stepped onto the battle stage, the number one genius of the Blood Sun continent, which was ranked second in the Divine Ruins continent group. The number one genius of the Blood Sun continent was the fifth to step onto the battle stage. After that, Lu Ming was the sixth to step onto the battle stage. After a while, more and more light spots appeared in the void. The other powerful geniuses of the four cardinal divine palaces, such as Bing Bing, Ji Hongchen, Wang Zhen, etc. Long Chen also stepped onto the battle stage at about the same time as these geniuses. Then, Xian Yanqing, Xian Yanjuan, and the others appeared one by one. The first stage was actually not too difficult as long as the key point was found. Although many people were eliminated, there were more who succeeded. There's a passage in the void. Someone shouted. Sure enough, a light spot flashed and a void hole appeared on the side of the battle stage. A youth stepped out from it. There were two people on the battle stage. These two people had to fight. The winner would continue and the loser would be eliminated. The two of them soon engaged in a fierce battle. Then, more and more void passages appeared and merged together. Of course, it was impossible for the loser to pass the stage. Lu Ming was sitting cross-legged. Suddenly, the battle stage shook and a passage appeared on the side of the battle stage. A young figure appeared from the passage. This person walked out of the passage and stepped onto the battle stage. When he saw Lu Ming, his expression changed drastically. Lu Ming's combat strength when he fought with Master Lin was too shocking. He had seen it with his own eyes. His combat strength was worlds apart from Lu Ming's. I'm so unlucky to encounter such a freak in the first stage. The youth's mouth was full of bitterness and helplessness. Lu Ming stood up and walked towards the youth. Lu Ming, I know I'm not your match, but I'll do my best to fight with you. The youth said. This was not an ordinary battle. That was the recruitment of disciples by the Yuanlu sect. He could not admit defeat. No matter what, he would fight. Only by showing his strength to his heart's content, he might be chosen by the experts of the Yuanlu sect. After all, the Yuanlu sect did not recruit disciples. It was based on combat strength. No one knew the standards of the Yuanlu sect. What if he was chosen? Do your best. I'll give you a chance to do so. Lu Ming said. Thank you. The youth cupped his fists. Then he performed the bloodline fusion and unleashed his strongest combat strength to attack Lu Ming. Although the youth's cultivation was not bad, it was far from Lu Ming's. Lu Ming did not defeat him immediately. Instead, he allowed the youth to unleash his strongest combat strength before defeating him. Chapter 1259. After defeating his opponent, the space distorted and his opponent was teleported out. In front of the battle platform, another void passageway appeared. Lu Ming took a step into it. At the same time, void tunnels appeared in the other battle stages. Bing Kong, Eden, Ziwuji, Jian Zhan, and the others easily defeated their opponents and entered the next stage. On the Divine Wilderness continent side, Long Chen easily defeated his opponent and entered the next stage. Xian Yanqing was now in the 7th level of the Spirit God realm and had obtained the inheritance of a supreme existence. His battle strength was also very terrifying and entered the next stage. In addition, Xian Yanjuan had obtained some kind of fortuitous encounter during this period of time and his cultivation had increased a lot. He actually entered the 6th level of the Spirit God realm and defeated his opponent to enter the next stage. Heartless Monk and Yang Padian also passed by luck. However, Underworld Child and Moonless Bodhisattva encountered strong opponents and were defeated and eliminated. Outside, countless people were watching. The experts of the 4 major forces of the Yuanlu continent were also watching carefully to see if there were any good seedlings that were suitable for their sections. Soon, the first stage was almost over. Originally, there were more than 500 people. About 100 people didn't pass the first stage. The remaining 400 people fought in pairs and half of them were eliminated. Only about 200 people could continue and enter the second stage. Lu Ming stepped into the void tunnel again and continued forward. After about 1,000 meters, his surroundings suddenly changed and he appeared in an unfamiliar environment. Around him, powerful auras rose like smoke signals. Countless experts were fighting with each other and their killing intent was shocking. A terrifying sword light slashed towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming punched out and shattered the sword light. Kill! A burly man holding a giant sword charged towards Lu Ming with bloodshot eyes. What's going on? Lu Ming frowned. Why did he suddenly come here? It's an illusion. Lu Ming sensed carefully and suddenly raised his eyebrows as he saw something fishy. This should be an illusion and Lu Ming was in the middle of it. Everything is an illusion. Lu Ming muttered. His heart was unmoved and he stood firm. Kill, kill. A few armored generals, armed with giant axes and long spears, charged toward Lu Ming. Their strong murderous intent made one shudder. But Lu Ming didn't seem to see it. He let the giant axe and spear hit him, his face calm. A surprising scene occurred. When the giant axe and spear struck Lu Ming, it was as if they had struck the void or struck an illusion. Lu Ming was completely unharmed. Lu Ming's expression was calm as he stepped forward. This was a battlefield, and the killing was incomparably intense. Fresh blood drifted in the air, and blood chi permeated the air. The killing intent was as cold as a blade. It felt incomparably real, as if it was really happening. Those with weak wills, even if they knew that this was an illusion, would inevitably be affected and develop fear. However, Lu Ming's resistance to illusions was already very strong. His heart was unmoved. He walked on the battlefield, allowing the swords and sabers to pierce his body. He was as immovable as a mountain. His footsteps were not very fast. He walked step by step on the battlefield. Young fella, die. In the sky, a loud shout was heard. A palm print that was like the hand of the heavens descended toward Lu Ming. This was definitely a palm strike from a ruler. At this moment, Lu Ming had an illusion that if the palm landed, he would immediately turn into ashes. This kind of feeling made Lu Ming have an instinctive impulse. He wanted to fight back, retaliate, and save himself. This was a human instinct. Anyone would have such an instinct when faced with such a situation. No, if I make a move, I'll only fall deeper and deeper. Lu Ming suddenly gritted his teeth and endured it, allowing the palm print to land. Boom! There was a loud bang and the palm print dissipated. However, Lu Ming was completely fine. Phew! Lu Ming secretly heaved a sigh of relief. The feeling of being about to be slapped to death in the next moment and having to endure not fighting back was not a good feeling. Lu Ming continued to move forward. Following that, all kinds of attacks landed on him. There were even attacks that surpassed a third-layer ruler, but Lu Ming was indifferent. He crossed the battlefield alone. In the end, it took Lu Ming half an hour to cross the entire battlefield. When Lu Ming crossed the battlefield disappeared, and Lu Ming reappeared in the void passage. In front of him, there was a flash of light. Lu Ming walked over and found another battle platform. There was no one on the battle platform. Lu Ming stepped onto the platform and sat down cross-legged. In the outside world, everyone was watching seriously. I wonder who will be the first to pass the second stage. I heard from the experts of the Celestial Divine Sect that the second stage is an extremely powerful illusion that tests one's willpower. It's very difficult. Until now, more than 30 people have failed and been eliminated. In my opinion, the first to pass is still the strongest heaven's prides from the 4 celestial palaces. They have the highest chance. That's right. Bing Kong Yidian, Zi Wuji, and Jian Zhan are the most likely. However, it's not impossible for Xue Mingyang and Lu Ming. Although Xue Mingyang and Lu Ming are very strong, they're still slightly weaker than the other 4. The surrounding spectators had already learned about the second stage from the experts of the Celestial Divine Sect. At this moment, they were all guessing who would be the first to pass. At this moment, in front of the first row of light spots, another light spot appeared. Similar to the first row of light spots, there was a battle platform inside. A void passage appeared. Who will be the first to pass? Everyone's eyes were fixed on the void passage. A young man stepped out and appeared on the battle platform. It's actually him, Lu Ming. I didn't expect it to be Lu Ming. He's the first to pass the second stage. Amazing, amazing. Don't tell me that Lu Ming will be able to defeat everyone and obtain first place? Not necessarily. Lu Ming was able to reach this step from a small continent like the Divine Wilderness continent. His willpower are naturally amazing. Otherwise, it would be difficult for him to reach this step. However, it doesn't necessarily represent his combat strength. It's hard to say who will be first. Lu Ming's appearance caused an uproar at the scene. The burly man from the Celestial Divine Sect snorted. He was rather unhappy. As for young Master Lin, his eyes were about to spit fire. Not bad, not bad. This kid is not bad. The burly man from the Divine Dragon Valley laughed loudly. He looked at Lu Ming on the battle platform with admiration. The other experts from the 9 Cloud Sword Sect and the Sky Demonic Sect also nodded. On the path of cultivation, one's will and willpower were also very important. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the battle platform and continued to wait. In the outside world, after Lu Ming appeared, light spots began to appear one by one. This time, following closely behind Lu Ming was the number 1 genius of the Eastern Divine Palace, Eden, the young man with the guqin on his back. Next was Bing Kong of the Northern Divine Palace. Then, Zi Wuji of the Southern Divine Palace, Xue Mingyang of the Blood Sun continent appeared almost at the same time. Chapter 1260. After Long Chen, it was Ji Hongchen and Wang Zhen. What was surprising was that Xian Yanqing appeared almost at the same time as these prodigies. Gradually, more and more battle stages appeared, and the number of people eliminated reached about 50. Out of the 200 people, about 50 people were eliminated. There were still about 150 people left. At this point, more than 70 battle stages had appeared in the void. When more than 70 battle stages had appeared, the void passageways where the successful challengers were began to converge with the previous ones. Lu Ming opened his eyes and saw a passage on one side of the battle stage. A young man stepped out of the passage. Just like before, the young man's face turned pale when he saw Lu Ming. "How unlucky!" the young man muttered. Previously, when Lu Ming fought with young Master Lin, the combat ability that he displayed was too powerful. Those who had seen him fight were very clear that they were not Lu Ming's match. If they met Lu Ming, it was equivalent to ending the assessment in advance. "I will fight with all my strength." The young man shouted and charged at Lu Ming with all his strength. However, the result was no surprise. He was easily defeated by Lu Ming. Battles broke out on the other battle stages as well. This battle was equivalent to the battle of 75 people. It was much more intense than the previous battle because those who could make it to the end were stronger. Eden, Bing Kong, and the other top geniuses easily defeated their opponents and won. That's the immemorial dragonesque elephant bloodline. The experts of Dragon God Valley who were watching the battles on the other battle stages suddenly widened their eyes in surprise. In one of the battle stages, Long Qin used the bloodline fusion technique to suppress his opponent and win. It's really the immemorial dragonesque elephant bloodline. This is shocking. The 9 dragons bloodline actually appeared in the continent of God. Now, even the immemorial dragonesque elephant bloodline has appeared. The experts of 9 Heaven Swords sect exclaimed. "That girl is not bad either. What a pure demonic chi and demonic intent." An expert from the Sky Universe Devil sect stared at one of the battle stages. Over there, Xian Yanqing was fighting with a genius. Xian Yanqing had easily won. Ever since Xian Yanqing had obtained the inheritance of that Devil Dao expert, her cultivation base and combat strength had rapidly increased. She had advanced at a tremendous pace. Also, that's not bad either. The strong warriors of the 4 great forces of the Yuan continents were watching the battles on the battle platforms and nodding their heads. It was obvious that they were satisfied with some people. In the end, all the battles came to an end. The losers were all eliminated, and the victors entered the next stage. On the Divine Wilderness continent's side, Yang Padian and unscrupulous monks' cultivation levels were insufficient, so they lost to their opponents. On the other hand, Lu Ming, Long Qin, Xian Yanqing, and Xian Yanjuan had all advanced. After Lu Ming's victory, he continued to step into the next void passage. This stage was more difficult than the previous 2 stages. Not only did it test one's will, but it also tested one's combat strength. However, Lu Ming passed it easily. This time, Lu Ming was the first to pass the 3rd stage. He appeared on another platform. However, this stage wasn't too difficult for Lu Ming. However, it was extremely difficult for the other geniuses. In this stage, a total of 25 people were eliminated. Only the remaining 50 people were able to pass the stage. What a coincidence! When the void passageways converged and a figure stepped into the arena where Lu Ming was, Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Wang Zhen. The person who stepped onto Lu Ming's battle stage was actually one of the 3 strongest geniuses of South God Palace, Wang Zhen. When Wang Zhen saw Lu Ming, his face darkened and a cold light flashed in his eyes. It's Wang Zhen. Wang Zhen actually encountered Lu Ming so early. This battle is going to be interesting. Interesting. A battle between 2 strong geniuses. Many people were excited. Wang Zhen was one of the 3 strongest geniuses of South God Palace. Although his reputation wasn't as good as Ziwu Ji's, he couldn't be underestimated. In the entire Divine Ruins continent, Wang Zhen was one of the strongest geniuses. His combat strength was definitely not weak. Although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong, they had never fought before. It was still unknown who was stronger and who was weaker. Lu Ming, your combat strength is not bad. Unfortunately, you have offended too many people. How about this? Why don't we make a deal? If you lose to me, I will help you settle your troubles. Wang Zhen's gaze shifted as he spoke. Help me settle my troubles? I would like to know how you are going to settle them. For example, young Master Lin must hate me to the core now. How do you want to settle this? Lu Ming said with a faint smile. My Wang family is still influential in South God Palace. If you lose to me on purpose, I will put in a good word for you in front of young Master Lin. Then, you can just apologize and this matter will be over. Wang Zhen said confidently. He, you want me to lose to you so that you will be chosen by the major sects in Yuanlu? Since your Wang family is so capable, why don't you put in a good word for yourself? Then, you will be able to join the major sects in Yuanlu. Why do you need to play such a dirty trick? Lu Ming said with a mocking expression. Lu Ming, I am talking to you nicely. Don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. If we really fight, I am not afraid of you. Wang Zhen said with a gloomy face. Then why are you still talking nonsense? Make your move. You don't have to worry about my matters. Lu Ming smiled faintly. You don't know how to appreciate my kindness. Bang! Wang Zhen said coldly and took a step forward. When he took a step forward, a milky white light shot up to the sky from his body. This light was extremely holy, as if it could purify all evil. Sacred light, divine sword. Wang Zhen was bathed in the pure white sacred light. He grasped the air with both hands and two pure white combat swords appeared in his hands. The two combat swords slashed out in a crisscross manner. A cross-shaped sword aura was shot toward Lu Ming. Swoosh! Lu Ming took a step forward and dodged the cross-shaped sword aura in a flash. He then charged towards Wang Zhen. Sacred light storm. Wang Zhen's body continued to spin. The boundless sacred light was driven and formed a storm of swords that rained down on Lu Ming. Child's play. Lu Ming smiled disdainfully. He unleashed the power of 9 dragons as he activated the suppressing hell skill and threw out a punch. The suppressing hell skill could suppress everything. No matter how many sword auras there were, a punch would break them. Boom! The boundless storm of sword auras was shattered in an instant. Wang Zhen's expression changed. He placed his 2 swords in front of him to block Lu Ming's punch. With a thud, Wang Zhen was sent flying by Lu Ming's punch. I don't believe it. Supreme Sacred Light Technique. Wang Zhen shouted. A milky white armor appeared on top of his head. The sacred light was vast and boundless like the ocean. This was Wang Zhen's bloodline, a set of armor. Moreover, when Wang Zhen used the bloodline fusion, it was strange. It was different from others. When he used the bloodline fusion, the armor seemed to be on his body, causing his aura to soar crazily. Chapter 1261. There was no doubt that Wang Zhen was using an intent martial technique. It was an intent martial technique of the holy light intent. This light seemed peaceful, but it had the power to destroy everything. Lu Ming's true yuan continued to circulate in his body. With the support of the 9 dragon energies, it was filled with explosive power. Boom! The hell-suppressing heaven skill was activated. Lu Ming's palm was like a knife as he slashed at the beam of light. Break! As Lu Ming spoke, the light was split in half by Lu Ming's palm. How can he be so strong? Wang Zhen roared in disbelief. In terms of cultivation, his cultivation had reached the mid-stage of the 8th level of the spirit god realm, which was stronger than Lu Ming's. However, even after performing the bloodline fusion and using the intent realm martial technique, Lu Ming still managed to break his attack with one palm. Most importantly, Lu Ming hadn't used the bloodline fusion yet, so he hadn't used his full strength yet. Lu Ming's previous battle with young Master Lin wasn't limited to just this. Wang Zhen couldn't accept that Lin Yun could break his killing move without using his full strength. Holy Light 9 slashes. Wang Zhen's armor shone brightly as the 2 swords in his hands merged into one. He slashed out 9 times in a row, and the power of the 9 swords stacked together to unleash a terrifying power. Lu Ming unleashed his 9 dragons bloodline and turned into 9 dragons. His dragon claws clashed with the milky white sword light. Boom! 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 9 explosions sounded out as the milky white sword light shattered. Following that, the 9 dragons launched a series of attacks. Some dragon claws used the hell-suppressing heaven art, while others used the Thunder God Strike. The hell-suppressing steel appeared in the air and pressed down on Wang Zhen. Lightning formed a phoenix that spread its wings and pounced at Wang Zhen. Boom, boom, boom. The powerful attacks landed on Wang Zhen's armor, causing it to tremble violently and let out an unpleasant creaking sound. In the end, it couldn't bear the pressure and exploded. Wang Zhen howled in grief as he spat out large mouthfuls of blood and was sent flying backwards. The 9 dragons twisted their bodies and instantly appeared in front of Wang Zhen. Their dragon claws slammed down on Wang Zhen's body. Wang Zhen was as weak as a chicken. He heavily smashed into the fighting ring and spat out a mouthful of blood. I admit defeat, I admit defeat. Wang Zhen admitted defeat in humiliation. If he didn't admit defeat, Lu Ming could continue to attack. After Wang Zhen admitted defeat, the space around him started to distort and his body was sent out. Damn it, this bastard. After coming out, Wang Zhen roared in his heart. He wasn't confident that he would be eliminated so early. He didn't know if he would be chosen by one of the great sects of Yuanlu. If he were to fall, he would definitely make Lu Ming pay the price. He swore to himself. Look, are they sisters? So similar. They really do look alike, and they're both so beautiful that they're devastatingly beautiful. At this moment, someone shouted. Wang Zhen followed the voice and saw 2 female characters on one of the battle stages. One of them was wearing a black dress while the other was wearing a white dress. It was a stark contrast, but they looked exactly the same. They were Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan. When the 2 identical beauties met, they naturally attracted the attention of many people. Even the experts from the 4 major forces of Yuanlu were watching with interest. Isn't this girl Lu Ming's woman? Humph, let Nianjuan teach her a lesson and avenge me. Wang Zhen thought to himself. In the fighting ring, Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan stood opposite each other. Their eyes were like lightning as they stared at each other. Not long after, the 2 of them fought again. This time, they were determined to determine the winner. Xian Yanqing, you're a freak. Today, I will officially eliminate you on behalf of the imperial family and the Xie family. Xian Yanjuan said coldly. Her eyes were still filled with arrogance and disdain. Xian Yanjuan, don't act all high and mighty. Is your bloodline very noble? In my heart, it's worthless. Today, I will completely trample on you and crush your so-called dignity. I will let you know that the Xie family is not worth mentioning. Xian Yanqing did not back down and continued to fight back. There's no point in talking nonsense. Let's see who's stronger. Xian Yanjuan said. Her body emitted a milky white light. It was very similar to Wang Zhen's. It was a type of sacred light. However, Xian Yanjuan's sacred light was even purer and more condensed than Wang Zhen's. 9 Heavens Sacred Region. Xian Yanjuan made the first move. She pressed her jade-like hand and sacred light spread out. It formed a domain-like force field and enveloped Xian Yanqing. This is the embryonic form of a domain. No, it doesn't look like it. Xian Yanjuan's move made the experts of Heavenly Divine Sect and 9 Heaven Sword Sect frown. They were all shocked, especially the white-haired old man of Heavenly Divine Sect. He looked at Xian Yanjuan with great admiration. This move again. Break for me. Xian Yanqing looked calm. Her finger was like a sword as she drew a line in front of her. Numerous black lotuses formed in front of Xian Yanqing's finger. The lotuses then dispersed. The petals of the lotuses formed a lotus sword in the air and slashed at the 9 Heavens Sacred Region. With a poochie sound, the 9 Heavens Sacred Region was sliced open by Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanjuan's face changed. She did not expect Xian Yanqing to be able to break her 9 Heavens Sacred Region so easily. Your cultivation is too weak. A cold voice came from Xian Yanqing. At the same time, a stronger aura than Xian Yanjuan burst out from Xian Yanqing's body. The aura of a 7th-level spirit god. 7th-level spirit god. How did you reach the 7th-level spirit god so quickly? Xian Yanjuan shouted in disbelief. She had been very close to Wang Zhen recently. With the help of the Wang family, her cultivation had improved rapidly. She had also obtained other opportunities and broken through the profound martial realm, reaching the 6th-level spirit god. She had thought that no one in the divine wilderness continent could be her match. She was not even afraid of Long Chen. However, she had seen Lu Ming's strength. Even the genius of Heavenly Divine Sect, young Master Lin, was not a match for Lu Ming. She was shocked and somewhat in disbelief. It had dealt a heavy blow to her confidence. But now, she realized that even Xian Yanqing, who she had always looked down on, had surpassed her. His cultivation had reached the 7th level spirit god. She found it hard to accept. So what if you have broken through to the 7th level spirit god? I can still defeat you. Xian Yanjuan shouted. A beautiful woman's figure appeared above his head. She was as holy as the fairy of the 9 heavens. She used bloodline fusion and attacked Xian Yanqing. Heavenly demon force field. Xian Yanqing whispered. A force field spread toward Xian Yanjuan. Xian Yanqing's heavenly demon force field was many times stronger than before. Xian Yanjuan's body entered the heavenly demon force field. It was as if he had fallen into a quagmire. Devil's will. Xian Yanqing pinched his fingers. Demonic chi soared into the sky. Vast demonic might spread out like a supreme demonic god. Chapter 1262. Xian Yanqing was like a demoness. Her long hair fluttered in the wind, and her demonic chi was vast and mighty. She took light steps in the air and walked towards Xian Yanjuan step by step. I won't lose to you. Xian Yanjuan's beautiful face was distorted with anger and excitement. The bloodline that she had transformed into bloomed with holy light. She used all her strength to send out a palm strike towards Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing also raised her jade-like hand and lightly struck out with her palm. Bam! The two palms collided, and the holy light was instantly suppressed. The demonic chi was vast and mighty, destroying the holy light as easily as crushing rotten wood. Bush, bush. Then, Xian Yanqing waved her hand, and a black lotus condensed and fell on Xian Yanjuan's body. Xian Yanjuan's bloodline seemed to be under endless pressure. Deep marks appeared on her body, and then she collapsed. Xian Yanjuan's figure appeared in the rain of light. Her beautiful face was pale, and the blood in her mouth drifted in the air like bright red plum blossoms. Xian Yanqing continued to step forward and sent out a palm strike, bombarding Xian Yanjuan's body. Xian Yanqing groaned and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. Her body seemed to have been electrocuted, and she flew far away and fell on the battle stage. How could this be? Outside, Wang Zhen was dumbfounded. He found it hard to believe. After this period of time, he had a good understanding of Xian Yanjuan. Not only was she beautiful, but she was also astonishingly talented. With the help of the Wang family and her own fortuitous encounters, her cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds. In just a few months, she had reached the 6th level spirit god realm. Even he felt inferior to such talent. Originally, he thought that Xian Yanqing would win for sure, but he didn't expect that Xian Yanjuan would be defeated so easily. This woman is naturally suited for the demonic Tao. Our Sky Demonic Sect wants her. The experts from the Sky Universe Demon Sect looked at Xian Yanqing with gleaming eyes. She just has a higher cultivation. The other girl is not bad either. My Heavenly God Sect wants her. The white-haired elder from the Heavenly Divinity Sect looked at Xian Yanjuan. Around them, the others were extremely envious. The examination was not over yet, but the two of them had already been selected by the two major forces. They would definitely be able to join the two major forces, regardless of the results of the later examinations. Impossible! On the battle platform, Xian Yanjuan cried out in disbelief. Her hair was disheveled and she was in an extremely sorry state. She didn't look like the peerless princess at all. As proud as she was, she found it hard to accept this result. In the divine wilderness continent, she was high and mighty, second only to Long Chen. Ever since she was young, she had been shrouded in limitless light. She was the moon surrounded by stars and was the focus of the world. On the other hand, Xian Yanqing was the opposite of her. He was ostracized by the imperial family and despised by the Xie family. He didn't even have the chance to appear in front of others. Compared to Xian Yanjuan, they were like heaven and earth. In the past, she had never thought that Xian Yanqing would be able to defeat her one day. Therefore, when this day came, she was at a loss, as if she was in a dream. What pure bloodline of the Xie family? In our eyes, you guys are just self-righteous people who are deceiving yourselves. In fact, you are weak. Today, I defeated you. In the future, Xie Qitian will also be defeated by me. I will let the world know that your so-called pure bloodline is just a joke. Therefore, I won't kill you today. Get lost. As Xian Yanqing spoke, he waved his hand. A palm wind rose and sent Xian Yanjuan flying far away. The space distorted and Xian Yanjuan's figure was sent out. Yanjuan, are you okay? As soon as Xian Yanjuan appeared, Wang Zhen flew over and asked about his well-being. I'm fine, Xian Yanjuan said, but his eyes were extremely cold. Then he glanced at Wang Zhen and said, You lost too? Who did you meet? Lu Ming. Wang Zhen hesitated at first, then gritted his teeth and said, Lu Ming again. Xian Yanjuan clenched his fists tightly. At this time, the battles on the various fighting platforms had almost come to an end. Those who could reach this stage were all very strong. However, compared to the small group of people who were at the top, the gap was obvious. Therefore, the battles didn't take long. At this stage, there were only 25 people left. These 25 people were all very strong. For example, the top geniuses of the 4 directions divine palaces and the second and third geniuses of the 2 continents. What was worth mentioning was that there were also many dark horses. Among the 25 people, only 18 of them had stepped onto Big Dipper Peak before. The remaining 7 were newcomers, such as Lu Ming, Long Chen, and Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming, Long Chen, and Xian Yanqing seemed to be from the same continent. At this time, someone said in surprise, It can't be? From the same continent? It can't be. Other than the Divine Ruins continent, there are only 3 people from the Blood Yang continent who can reach this stage. If these 3 are from the same continent, wouldn't they be on par with the Blood Yang continent? By the way, which continent are they from? I know, they're from the Divine Wilderness continent. What? Divine Wilderness continent? It can't be, right? That small continent? There was a burst of discussion. When the crowd knew that Lu Ming and the other 2 were from the Divine Wilderness continent, they were all stunned and in disbelief. The Divine Wilderness continent could give birth to so many geniuses. Moreover, Xian Yanjuan should also be from the Divine Wilderness continent and had been chosen by the Heavenly God sect. If that was the case, the Divine Wilderness continent was too shocking. Outside, the crowd was discussing in surprise. Lu Ming and the others had already stepped into the void passage behind them. Not long after Lu Ming stepped into the void passage, he was faced with a storm of attacks. Figures condensed and charged towards Lu Ming. At the same time, inscriptions filled the void passage, forming an even more terrifying attack. This stage did not test anything else but pure combat strength and combat experience. If one wanted to pass the stage, they would have to fight their way through. Lu Ming unleashed his dragon power and crushed his way through. However, the further he went, the stronger the attacks on Lu Ming and the greater the resistance. Even with Lu Ming's combat strength, he had to put in some effort. Outside the void passage, there were flashes of light from time to time. It was the experts who were eliminated and sent out. It can't be. This stage is so difficult that even such geniuses are eliminated. Some people secretly clicked their tongues. Those who could reach this step and enter the top 25 were all amazing geniuses. However, there were still people who were eliminated. It was obvious that this stage was too difficult. That's Shui Ku, the second-ranked genius of the Blood Yang continent. And Ice Dragon, one of the 4 strongest geniuses of the North Divine Palace, was also eliminated. This is too shocking. The space flickered again and again as geniuses were sent out. Ice Dragon's face was gloomy. He felt extremely embarrassed that he could not even pass the stage. Did you notice that the 3 geniuses from the Divine Wilderness continent were not eliminated? It's true. Could it be that they can pass? This is too unbelievable. Some people thought of Lu Ming and the other 2. Chapter 1263. In the end, even geniuses like Jianghu were sent out of the 4 sacred palaces. Look, someone passed. Suddenly, someone shouted. In front of them, a dot of light lit up, and a figure appeared within the dot of light. It's Eden, the Eden of the East Sacred Palace. It's really Eden. It's not Lu Ming, nor is it Bing Kong. It seems like Eden's combat strength is terrifying. The fact that Eden was the first to appear surprised everyone. After all, Lu Ming's performance was very strong. Many people thought that Lu Ming would be the first to pass. This time, it wasn't a battle stage that appeared in the light spot, but a platform that could only accommodate one person. At this moment, another light spot appeared not far from where Eden was. This time, a figure appeared. It was the strongest genius of the North Sacred Palace, Bing Kong. Similarly, there was only a platform beneath Bing Kong's feet. He stood on the platform and looked at Eden with sharp eyes. It seemed like they could see each other. Eden also looked at Bing Kong. There seemed to be sparks between the two of them. The second to succeed is Bing Kong, not Lu Ming. It seems like I overestimated him. It's very normal. The first few stages tested one's willpower. Lu Ming's willpower is strong, but it doesn't mean that his combat ability can overpower everyone. Eden, Bing Kong, and the rest are extremely terrifying and have unparalleled combat ability. I'm afraid they can defeat young Master Lin. Shu, lower your voice. Some people discussed, but they quickly shut up and looked in the direction of the Heavenly Divinity sect. Unfortunately, although their voices were soft, young Master Lin still heard them. This made his face even darker. In the void tunnel, Lu Ming was still trying to pass the stages. However, he didn't use his strongest combat strength, nor did he use the bloodline fusion. He only used the power of 9 dragons, the intent realm, and the suppressing hell skill to pass the stages. I feel like my water intent is about to break through. In the midst of the battle, Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. His concept of thunder, concept of fire, and concept of wind had already broken through to the peak of the 4th level when he was in the ruins of God. His concepts of earth and water were still at the peak of the 4th level. Now, after a series of great battles, the concept of water finally showed signs of breaking through. As such, Lu Ming wasn't in a hurry. He focused on operating his concepts to resist the outside world. He couldn't miss such an opportunity. If he missed it, he didn't know when he would be able to break through again. Lu Ming's speed of clearing the levels gradually slowed down. As time passed, the number of people who succeeded gradually increased. Following Eden and Bing Kong were Zi Wuji, Jian Zhan, and Shui Mingyang. Behind Shui Mingyang and the other two, a young man with skin as hard as iron stepped forward. Everyone recognized that this person was the number 1 genius of the 3rd continent, Tai Hong of the Divine Iron Continent. Soon, a stunning woman appeared. This person was also a dark horse. She had risen from a small continent and had attracted many people's attention. Now, she was the 7th person to succeed. Lu Ming hasn't appeared yet. It seems like his battle strength isn't ridiculously strong. That's right. Many people were discussing. This made young Master Lin's face even gloomier. His heart was conflicted. First, he thought that Lu Ming couldn't pass and was eliminated. However, this meant that Lu Ming's battle strength was low. But if Lu Ming, who had low battle strength, could defeat him, didn't that mean that he was even worse? Now, hearing others say that Lu Ming's battle strength wasn't good, he felt very uncomfortable. It's all that Lu Ming's fault. Young Master Lin secretly gritted his teeth. In the void, there were 7 spots of light. Each spot of light was a platform, and the 7 people stood on each platform. It was as if there was a transparent bubble in the void, wrapping around each platform in an arc. They could see each other. At this moment, another spot of light appeared, and a figure appeared on the platform. It was Long Chen. The 8th person to appear was Long Chen. That's Long Chen from the Divine Wilderness continent. He's only at the 7th level of the spiritual god realm. It's unbelievable that he could pass the challenge. Yeah. Even Ice Dragon and Ji Hongchen, who were at the 8th level of the spiritual god realm, were eliminated. He can pass the challenge with his 7th level of the spiritual god realm Cultivation. Long Chen's appearance caused a wave of discussion. It was extremely shocking. The ancient dragon-esque elephant bloodline, one of the top 10 battle beasts. It's unfathomable and unpredictable. The eyes of the experts from the Divine Dragon Valley were burning. The other 3 forces were also tempted. It was extremely rare to awaken such a bloodline, even in the Yuan continent. Immediately after Long Chen, another dot of light appeared. Then, a beautiful woman walked out from the dot of light. Xian Yanqing. Many people's hearts skipped a beat, and they were surprised. Obviously, they didn't expect the person to be Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing was the same as Long Chen. He was also at the 7th level of the spiritual god realm. Even the experts of the Yuan continent's 4 major forces were surprised that he could pass the challenge. How is this possible? Seeing Xian Yanqing's figure appear, Xian Yanjuan's body trembled violently. His face was filled with disbelief, and he couldn't accept it. Xian Yanqing could pass the challenge, which meant that he didn't use much of his strength in the battle with her. This was a huge blow to her. Due to jealousy, the muscles on her face were slightly contorted, making her look ferocious. Xian Yanqing and Long Chen looked at each other and nodded slightly. They then looked around, and when they didn't see Lu Ming's figure, they were surprised. In their opinion, Lu Ming should have passed the challenge long ago. He will definitely succeed. It's just that he was delayed by something. Xian Yanqing muttered. She had full confidence in Lu Ming. Everyone waited quietly. After a while, 15 people had been eliminated. There were originally 25 people, but now 15 people had been eliminated. 9 people had passed the challenge, and 1 person was still trying. Obviously, that person was Lu Ming. What's going on? Lu Ming hasn't come out yet. He hasn't been eliminated, and he hasn't passed the challenge. It's really strange. What's so strange about it? I reckon that his combat strength isn't good enough. He's just struggling and can't bear to give up. He's just trash. There were also people who were disdainful and mocking. Everyone looked over and saw that it was Ice Dragon, the genius of the North Divine Palace. On the celestial god Sek's side, young Master Lin's face darkened again. He was so depressed that he was about to vomit blood. Lu Ming defeated him. It was an indisputable fact. Now that others were belittling Lu Ming and Lu Ming, it was the same as belittling him. They said that Lu Ming was trash. Didn't that mean that he was worse than trash? He was attacked even when he was lying down. How could he not be depressed? However, he couldn't do anything about it. Did he have to stand up for Lu Ming and teach those who belittled Lu Ming a lesson? You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.